So first.
Absolutely.
And I was like,
let's dig it all up.
Oh, no.
True.
You'll never guess.
So sidebar.
Yes. And also, I feel like I shouldn't have to remember everything.
I know.
Actually, I have to talk about this.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is Also Podcast, and it's a very special edition because we're going to cover all of Love Island's USA Season 8. And we've now covered 3 seasons of Love Island USA. And I would say this comes in at number, I don't know, give or take 2 or 3. Honestly, I don't really care. 2 or 3? It's definitely not number 1. I can tell you that
Definitely
much.
not number 1. Not at all.
But I feel like it was maybe, as far as drama goes, it was last place, I think. As far as the actual season, I think it was maybe 2 because the last season gave me high blood pressure.
I think this had more like one-on-one drama versus kicking off in the villa. Like a lot of convos were had one-on-one, and that just leads the Islanders to not actually know what's going on, which is frustrating.
100%. Well, before we get into all the details, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Patreon. All the links are in our description, and please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. Okay, shall we start?
Let's dive into the last 6 weeks.
We came here for love, so that wasn't the theme song, but that'll forever be one of the better theme songs. Anyway, we got 5 girls and 5 guys entering this villa.
Well, because we immediately started off with somebody being pulled from the immediate lineup because of a racial slur going around. So then they pulled Gabrielle from the initial OGs, which I think threw off the bombshells in general this season.
I agree. The bombshells, they were struggling this season. You know what? We'll get there. I felt for them. Anyway, we start out with Anaya, Kenzie, Melanie, Bea, or Beatrice, and Trinity as the girls. And then the guys were Sincere, Bryce, Zach, Sean, and Casey. And then immediately I was like, oh, they all seem great, except Kenzie, who said that she gets emotional at night because of her fucking sign. Oh my God.
She also had crazy eyes from day one in the villa.
Yeah.
In my friend group in Chicago, she was our background of our group text. And I was like, guys, we got to remove this. I can't look at this every single day.
Yeah. My other immediate note when watching this was that I liked Melanie, but she made a comment in her interview and she was like, I just want a man. If he wants 1 kid, 5 kids, a whole football team, I'll give him whatever. And I was like, girl, no.
Yeah, I agree.
No. And immediately I was like, Melanie makes me nervous because I think she's going to roll over for a man. And I ate with that a little bit.
You know what? You saw what was coming towards us.
And you know what? I did That's love, on the internet too. So
true. True. I was so excited to have Bea in there, a Paralympian. I was like, what a stellar person. Not that the other women aren't, but we know we have internet records of her being an incredible athlete. And that's so fun to know about a person going in. Yeah, I was so excited for her. And then Trinity and Anaya seemed fine. There wasn't really anything. And then as far as the guys, the only thing that really caught my brain initially was, I was like, oh, Sean's a cop. Sorry, Sean. And a dad. But honestly, I was nervous about him being a cop. And then his, mayor was out online being like, he's not going to have a job when he comes back. And I was like, whoa, all right. That's now crazy. I'm on his side. You don't need to revoke his job or his unpaid leave because you're pissed he's on a reality TV show. It's 2026. It's
also not his business, or it's not your business what he does with his leave. If he gets approved for leave, he gets approved for leave.
It's crazy to revoke it.
100%. So anyway, we go to the how we open up is we all meet each other and then we do this door matching game, which essentially they give you 3 options and you stand in front of the option that you most like and then you make out with everyone on the other side of that door incredibly loudly. If you're not
loudly,
if you're not smacking lips, it's not good enough. We have to hear it.
And Peacock did not change the sound, the sound levels of the kissing all season. No. I need you to adjust this for season 9. I thought like, wow, is this the sign that I'm getting old? And then I went online and like everybody was annoyed. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm not a prude in my 30s. This is incredibly annoying.
It was disgusting. So
do better.
Please, yeah. Ugh, it was disgusting. Anyway, this is also how then they like match through the doors, because the idea is you've learned compatibility. So then everyone has a door with their name on it, and then you stand in front of the door of it was
I did
the
like
guy.
This because we had compatibility, and I don't mind the kissing of everybody, because I think what they're trying to do is get rid of the Beldasha that we had last year where she would not kiss anybody. And so you're like forcing them into this, which I think just helps know if you have that initial physical spark with someone. And so you don't just pair up to pair up. Like you get to decide on actual facts, you know, like what you like. Are you a dog person, a cat person, a plant person? And did I enjoy that kiss?
Yes, I do. This is just like a different way though of doing the step forward if you're interested.
I think
I don't think you needed the
kissing.
No, I don't think you need the camp of the door.
I think not knowing if people are behind it helps, because you're actually just making a judgment without deciding would anybody, like, you're not watching for somebody to like make movements if they're going to step forward.
I guess, but I'd rather you just have to look these people in the face and like step forward.
And
I
like
think
say it with your chest.
The suspension of like, someone's going to open their door. Who's behind? I was like, what are we? It's just like gimmicky at this point, and it's only like episode 1, but whatever. So basically, Trinity and Bryce couple up immediately. She was on the other side of his door. Sean and Bea immediately. Casey opens his door. No one's there, so he goes to the side.
We have to talk about that, though, because was this the plant door one? Oh, this is the final recoupling one, right?
Final recoupling. I'm not going through each thing.
He answered those questions with an intent in mind that wasn't pure. He wasn't answering with his actual answers throughout the actual game. So then once it came down to pick someone, nobody was compatible to him based on their own previous answers. So he rightfully deserved no one to be behind his door.
To be honest, I didn't think that far into it. I was like, whatever.
It's when he did the plant one, and he, in his interview, was like, oh, I did that one because I wanted to seem edgy. And it's like, no, you should just pick the answer that you actually fit with.
I don't think it's that deep, though. If you like cats, if you like plants,
that's why this is annoying.
It becomes that deep, I guess. But for me, I was like, okay, no one was feeling Casey.
This
Maybe
is a silly game
kisser.
At the beginning, and that's what it should be. But it turns into something more.
I think it's because it's like, we don't know these people. I'm still trying to learn names. So if you told me Casey wasn't like authentic, I don't even know who Casey is still at this point. So as a viewer,
100%.
I didn't really care. And it didn't like click for me. I found it
weird, the plant one only, where he identified in his interview that he was playing like a game with it, and it was like, well, that's not gonna go well.
I gotta be honest, I didn't even click that because I was like, damn, no one stood in front of plants except him. I would have picked plants. I was like, damn, dude.
But it would piss me off if he actually said that out loud, like to my face, like,
you didn't know.
Yes, but like the sentiment behind it is so dumb.
But yeah, so he goes to the side, and then Sincere opens his door, and he finds Melanie and Anaya, and then he ultimately picks Melanie, which means Anaya is also off to the side, and then Kenzie picks Zach. So then Casey and Anaya are coupled up together by default. And immediately, even taking notes, like, after the season, I was like, it pisses me off how many of these couples, like, stay together. Like, that honestly makes me mad.
I think there's a flaw in the U.S. system, which, if we have time, I'm happy to discuss it at the end. But
why not now? We can zoom through this season. I only have 2 pages of notes.
I think it's just, well, like, we'll get there as we go on, because it kind of goes in hand with the bombshells.
Okay. I think, I'll say it at the top, I think everyone wants to be liked because everyone knows they're going to get out here and be an influencer. So they're like, we have to stick with who we had because we wouldn't want America to hate me if I dumped the person I had at the beginning. And it's like,
I think it's also just security of staying, like the longevity of staying is if you keep picking the same person and they keep picking you, you're building, even if it's not a romantic bond, a bond and a trust that like we're partners in this. And so you just tend to like stick with what you know because it feels safe. And that's like real life dating too, but it's like this idea of becoming an influencer and having more time on TV is what is ending up ruining this show. But honestly, I hope they see that like Caleb got a lot of followers and he was barely on the show. So like
100%.
have an impact. Don't just try to stay around for a while.
Okay, so we have all of our couples and then we like get to know each other. Great, whatever. Fast forward. Like, did anything?
It's dumb
Can I get to the new thing?
Yeah.
It is so surface level. These people do not know how to speak with each other. I was like,
no, that is so clear across the entire season. And you can tell me, like, convince me that Peacock's cutting out the deep conversations, sure. But the conversations we do see, even the surface level ones, I'm like, do you guys know how to converse with people? Do you know how to talk to a stranger?
Also, what pissed me off is like day one, everyone was like, I can only talk to the person I'm coupled up with. No one was talking to anyone else. Yeah. No one was like getting to know other people that they might be interested in. It was just like, you are my couple. You are who I need to talk to.
They were immediately locked in as if they were married. And it's like, that's not the point. Even from a friendship standpoint, don't you want to get to know the people you're living in a house with?
Like, I don't think Anaya and Zach know who each other are. You know what I mean?
I don't think they've ever had one conversation.
I don't think Kenzie knows who Casey is. And this is throughout the season. I don't think any of them remember Sean. You know what I mean? Like, no. I don't think, like, you're going to tell me Trinity. I never saw Trinity and Sincere have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, we all shut it down and it was like, I have to get to know my couple. Even Anaya and Casey, who did not pick each other. Like, Anaya should have gone forward and been like, immediately she was having like friend conversations with Sincere about Melanie, and I was like,
and it's like, no, girl, you clearly wanted him.
Start flirting. What are we doing? Casey,
get the grind on.
Oh my God, Casey, you have a bunch of women you could talk to, and like you talk to zero, so that pissed me off. So we immediately the next night do this game where the doors are back.
Oh my God,
more doors.
These fucking doors pissed me off. They were
we have
massive.
More doors. So Ariana comes in and she basically tells them like, hey, if you're locked in your couple, don't step forward. But if you're still open, step forward. It's day 2. Everyone step forward.
Everyone step forward. This is not twist or stay, whatever challenge they had in season 6. And I was like, this is too soon. Why are we doing this?
If you're locked in your couple, come on.
It has barely been 12 hours.
No, literally. So Bea and Trinity step forward for the girls, and Zach and Bryce step forward for the boys, and then 2 bombshells walk in, but you can't see from the other side, and you have Gabrielle and Kada, and then they each make out with the people who step forward and then take them away.
I did like this within the like stick and twist. I love that the boys couldn't see the boy bombshell and the girls couldn't see, and I semi-like that they automatically kissed, but I love that they got taken away. I think they should start adding mini Casa Amors throughout it. UK has started to do that, and I'm so happy they did it here.
Yes. Well, that's also a big gripe with US that I have is when bombshells come in, everyone in the villa is present, whereas in what did I say? In US, that's what they do. In UK, what they do is even if everyone's in the house, the girls are separated if a girl bombshell comes in. They're up in the terrace, or the boys like get called out of the villa, or the girls go on a date outside the villa, even if it's on that gravel path that they have at the villa. Like everything is removed so that you actually can have an open and honest conversation, which I think is what Kada, Zach, Bryce got on one side, and Gabrielle, Bea, and Trinity got on the other. Like, I think they were able to be like, we are separated and not in the villa.
It just, like you said, it allows you to have those honest conversations without fear of daggers coming your way. I will say the US does have more space within the house that you do get to go separate, but the judgment you get for being out of eyesight by your own choice is what is damning. But when the show and the game of it does it for you, you have plausible deniability of like, I didn't want this, you know, like I didn't know. I just had to go type of mentality.
Okay, so they spend the night, 3 to a bed.
Weird ass mega bed. This was crazy.
Poor Bryce was all the way at the end while
Kata
Kata
was
and
like,
Zach.
no, it's an immediate no. Thanks so much, though. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Gabrielle, he's like in the middle, loving both. He's here. And then they go on dates the next day. Fine, whatever. We eventually come back. Can we just skip forward? We eventually come back in the villa. And then everyone's like sitting by the fire pit. And Ariana's like, hey, I'm going to bring back the bombshells with the people, right? And it kind of worked out because both Bryce and Trinity, who were coupled up, like both went with the bombshells, but Kenzie was left on her own because Zach left, and Sean was left on his own because Bea left. So they all come back, and so we're face to face, and basically the bombshells get to pick. They get to pick who they want to couple up with a kiss.
That was crazy.
Why? That was awesome.
Oh my God, having to watch them just make out. They are obsessed with everybody making out.
But like, you do a little kiss. The tongue, the fact that like, okay, Gabrielle picked Bea and then Trinity's standing there listening, just do a little kiss or something.
We don't need to do that much.
So long make out.
It's the way everybody has to watch, and then you're right, like Trinity's just standing there makes it so awkward. And as the viewer, I felt awkward. And then again, the sound of the making out is so high. I'm like, all right. Like later in the season, it becomes lustful is the big thing. Peacock and the production company did this to them.
Crazy.
They immediately did make it lustful, and that continued out through the entire season.
So Gabrielle picks Bea, Kata picks Zach, and it works out because Trinity and Bryce, no one wants them, so they're paired back up together. And this leaves Kenzie and Sean single. So then, I don't have all the games, but they do a game where like all the girls get like do like a dance on people and on tables, and then they get to answer a question and dump someone.
Casual.
They get to dump someone in some slime, and then they go into this room to ideally collect money, but then a bombshell comes out and it's Corbin.
Love that.
Oh, can we talk about Corbin? He really grew on me because that man is AI and he was cracking me up. My friends and I have the vocal stim now of, hello, this is a smoothie.
We're over here. Melanie.
My
Can
friend
I
keeps
get a kiss?
My friend sends me like videos of Corbin is your sleep paralysis demon, and it's just like, oh, I love.
When he was sleeping, I was like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
You're 100%
He's
convinced me
recharging.
he is AI. Oh my God.
Melanie.
But I like this is the way a bombshell comes in, and it's secret. And then I like that he didn't come out at the end either of the game. Like he comes into the house later on. Yeah,
he makes out with all the girls. He does a little don't tell anyone. Great, whatever. So then he comes in the villa. The boys are shocked. Immediately, they're like, the girls lied to us.
The way he's like, great to see you again. And I forget who it was, but only one guy really picked up on it and was like, again? I think it was Casey. He was like, what do you mean again?
Yeah. And then they were all mad at the girls. And I was like, you guys,
it's not that deep. You've known these girls for 3 days.
Probably less at this point. Like, I don't even know. Okay, so then eventually, not much drama. Corbin gets to know all the girls. Him and Kenzie have a lovely chat about handcuffs that stuck with me. Because I think that was before they talked about, like, the amount of siblings they had, even.
Corbin and Kenzie were well matched on how much they love talking about sex.
They were freaks, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so we do a recoupling, right? Corbin gets to pick Kenzie, and then, because he goes first, and then all the other boys get to pick. So Casey picks Anaya, Gabrielle and Beatrice, Zach and Kata, Sincere Melanie. Or wait, it was the girls that got to pick. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, Corbin picks Melanie, oh my God.
I think Corbin does pick because he was new. Yeah.
And then Anaya picks Casey, Beatrice picks Gabrielle, Kata picks Zach, Melanie picks Sincere, Trinity picks Bryce, and Sean dumped from the island.
Out of here.
To no job because the mayor fired him.
That was kind of brutal. I was like, crazy. Man, you came all that way and you don't even need to know the discourse that is going on. Yeah. And of course you're coming out and you have no job. Oof. Mm-hmm.
So for about 5 seconds, Corbin's also kind of interested in Melanie, but it doesn't matter in this house because if you're paired up with someone, that is the only person you're allowed to talk to.
Life sentence.
Sorry. So then we do this game and it's bed on, like there's paint in a bed and basically all the girls are blindfolded and have to dunk their hands in paint and then go around this ginormous bed.
Ginormous.
That comfortably seats 48. And then you have to go around and find your man. So then your paint's going to get all over and everyone can see who you touched, right? Here's the thing. For a while, they were all entering like the same way. So all the paint was going to get on boy number one. And here's the other thing. These girls immediately went to, how do I find the boy? I have to make out with him. You could just touch his face.
I was like, the hair in the hair on their head and on their face would tell so many of these apart.
You know what they should have done? And I thought of this while it was happening. If it was me, I'd walk up, smack him right across the face, and based off his voice, I would know if that's my man or not.
Well, Ariana did say they weren't supposed to talk, so I think that would have gotten you disqualified.
But if it's a good smack, it's not on my fault. Sorry for the smack.
Everybody goes through and kisses, and Alicia's just like, boom.
Just smack, smack. Yeah, so they're all making out. Most notably, Melanie cannot seem to find Sincere because she can't tell the difference between Sincere, who's about 5'6" with long locks, and Corbin, who's about 6'4" with like a fro going. Hello?
I was like, girl, you're doing too much because they can see you.
She goes back and forth like 40 times.
I was like,
you don't know by now?
Also, I am not one, no shade to her on wanting to kiss these boys. I'm not one who wants to swap spit that many times back and forth.
No, all these boys have made out with each other. I think, honestly, the classiest was Anaya. She just went around and touched. She's like, okay, that's Sincere's hair. That's not KC.
Yeah, she was like, I don't want to play it like this.
Yeah, that's... And I think, like, Gabrielle was, like, boy number 2, so Bea just, like, stopped at him.
Yeah.
Which also fine.
Amazing.
So 10 out of 10. But then, unbeknownst to the girls, because they're all, blindfolded, a few new bombshells enter the villa, right?
I like this. This gives what we wanted from, like, the UK, where the girls are blindfolded so they aren't watching the boys kind of explore and get excited about it. They get to do this in somewhat privacy. But the crazy thing is like, how would you not notice how many people are coming through as the girls who have already gone? Like, there are 2 or 3 girls already sitting next to their partners.
Yes.
And I would be counting how many people are going through at this point.
That, I think the U.S. should have had the bombshells go first.
Ooh.
Get all the paint, because then it also makes it awkward when, like, 2 people are making out and your girl is already handcuffed right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it fucks up the vibe.
You're so right, because they would want to do more than just the exploring, trying to find the partner, and the plausible deniability of, like, oh, I'm a friend, like, I'm just kissing a little bit.
Yeah, I think the bombshell should have been able to go first. Which would have been just Sol and Jen, because those were the 2 bombshells. There was also, so they come in, they do the thing while the girls are also, like, blindfolded. They have no idea. And then all the girls get to take off their blindfolds, and they're all looking around after, and they're like, oh my God, paint. You got paint all over you. Which they get mad about for a little bit. They're like, you got a lot of paint. I was like, girl, you knew the game.
They didn't have a choice. Like, the girls were the ones putting the paint on. The boys weren't the ones putting paint on girls.
And also, you just made out with 12 guys, too. I know there's only 6. But, like, why are you mad at him for making out with the 6 girls? You did the same.
Too. Yeah.
But anyway, but then they're like, oh my God, who has this color paint? And Ariana's like, let me welcome Sol and Jen. Which I love. The way
KC, though, goes... Oh, it's like mixed paint. It's like, because 2 colors, babe, that's a primary color.
You know they're coming in. Just be like, I don't know, right? And so Sol and Jen immediately, Sol drop dead gorgeous. I was like, someone sedate me. I'll get through that screen.
That face card never declines.
Lethal. And then Ariana's like, girls, don't even worry, because we brought a boy for you. And in walks Caleb, the cowboy. And Melanie could have wet the bed. She was so excited.
And Melanie already had gotten in trouble when Corbin came in for, like, edging girls out on being able to see and talk to the bombshell.
Yeah.
Doing it again. She is, like, head tilted, so pumped, like, nobody can see anything because Melanie's, like, the second person in line.
Yeah. The fun thing about Melanie is if you try to talk to Sincere, she'll murder you. But she's
Correct.
allowed to do whatever she wants. And actually, if there's a
Yeah.
bombshell she likes, you also cannot talk to them. But Sincere cannot talk to other people. I'm not defending Sincere, but
No.
that's how it was at
But
the
this
beginning.
is how the show started out, though. Is
Yes.
I was like on Sincere's side at the
Same.
point of the bed situation because, yeah, you're right. Like, she was very territorial over her partner, but then she got to act however she wanted.
Mm-hmm. She was just making out with two guys right in front of since she knew which one was Sincere. You're not gonna
Yep.
sit
Yeah.
here and let
So it's like
me...
a triple whammy. You're like going between me and the what we thought was already a bombshell, and now a new bombshell's coming in,
Yeah.
and you cannot contain yourself
Everyone,
and be giddy, but then you can't also be locked down.
Yeah, just everyone could be like, yeah, new guy, you know what I mean? Also, if I was a girl and I see hot bombshells walk in and they're also girls, I feel like I'd be like, yes, girl, fucking
Yep.
work. Because we've been here for 48 hours. What the
I know.
fuck do I care if you make out with this guy and then I go home? It's
That's the
very
thing,
clear.
It's that people want their influencer career, so they're
Yeah.
more protective over their influencer career than the man that they might lose.
It's very clear y'all are here for followers. Like,
Yes.
it's very fucking clear. Anyway, so we have 3 new bombshells. So fun. We're getting to know everyone. Immediately, Jen starts getting to know Gabrielle because, again, you can only get to know one person in this villa. Sincere starts getting to know Soul, even though Casey is also interested, but Anaya starts crying to him. Again, the way we started out, I thought these girls were absolutely nuts, which I think a lot of these women, I think it's an age thing. I've talked with a lot of friends. We think it's an age thing. We think it's a security thing. Like maybe you're just not as secure in yourself. And I think
agree.
you're looking for the male validation, which I think eventually they get, which makes it seem like they're not as nuts and it was the boys. But actually, like, the most secure woman or women, I guess, in this villa were Jen and Soul, I think.
And Bea. I don't think Bea
And
was that
Bea.
insecure.
No, you're right.
Like, you're right. There was a lot of, like, freaking out really early on because they weren't getting the validation or just, like, the reciprocation that they assumed they should be getting when it's day 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. I do think Bea is secure, but I like as her in herself, but I think she's a little insecure when dating men because if you think about it, she's an athlete, right? That's very intimidating to a lot of men. And I think that's what she's always experienced because even when she was, which eventually we'll talk about, but she was leaving the villa, she was like, it's okay, it's no big deal. Like she had this kind of wall up where like, if you're sad, that's okay. Like, I don't think you need to cry about it for 40 days and 40 nights, but you can be like, I'm really sad to leave. Where she was like, it's okay, guys, I'm not dying. And it's like, there's
an in-between here.
Yeah, but I think it's more of like she was insecure as far as her femininity, which I think
Which she did
was
talk
open
about on
She was
After
open.
Sun.
Yeah. She's very open. Anyway, so, and then Caleb's getting to know Kenzie and like, great
This
whatever.
had the most mix because we had like 4 bombshells come in very rapidly that it did help stir the pot of we have a few triangles going on and like force people to kind of start chatting with some new people.
I think Gabrielle was very open to both Bea and Jen.
Yeah.
He made it very clear he still really liked Bea, and I think a lot of it was like their cultures were just also very similar.
I agree.
But he said, I'm getting to know Jen, and Bea just said, like, please just be open with me, whatever you feel, let me know.
Yeah.
Corbin was a little upset that Kenzie was talking to Caleb, but also him and Kenzie were like so horny for each other that like it didn't really matter. And he was also kind of getting to know some Sincere, which upset Kenzie and like that. Or no, he getting to know Melanie. Oh my God, I cannot. Yeah. Which upset Kenzie. And then Melanie was very upset about Soul and Sincere. However, Sincere, this is where Sincere fucked up. Yeah.
Really messed me up so much early on because they were all doing it while also all being mad that their partner was talking to somebody else. Is the Kenzie, Melanie, Soul, plus Corbin, Caleb,
Kenzie.
and Sincere. I guess it was just the OGs that then obviously got mad because the bombshells weren't really tied to anybody, but like that was messy as hell. As you guys should all mix and mingle. You should be having conversations and kissing each other. It is so early on. Figure out who you like the most. Don't lie about any of it, but figure out who you like the most. Because to be honest, there's enough of you that it can all shake out with you guys having a partner.
100%. I will say, this is where I thought Melanie also, again, I was still very like, my gosh, she's so insecure, dude. Just like calm down. However, Sincere was lying to both Soul and
That's
Melanie.
what bothered me. She had a right to be insecure. I wish she was
just
more
didn't know.
secure with herself.
Yeah.
But I think she could feel it, you know? Like,
100%.
he was being pretty sketchy in how he would say things and, like, love bomb them. So I think she could hear his words and feel that, like, the energy wasn't there because his actions weren't aligning with his words. So she knew
100%.
something was up.
And I felt bad for Soul too, because I was like, damn, this girl just got here and she's just trying to have a day. Because then KC would have talked to Soul, but then Anaya started crying about how KC wouldn't pick her. And then he, of course, was like, well, you didn't pick me at the door. And then they were fine though. They stayed together and he didn't explore.
I hated that though. Is like, I understand if your partner is crying and upset that you're going to explore someone, but this is the time to do it. And to just be open about it. And if that hurts their feelings, that is an unfortunate thing within this process. But it's better to make someone sad because your feelings aren't reciprocated than to be lying to them.
Agreed.
And a different person than you want to be. And then inadvertently be mad and resentful of them down the road.
And I think Casey did the thing early. Because like, to me, if we're 5-6 days in and you want to explore, shout out, go off. But, like, he did the thing where he's like, no, I'm going to stick this out. And then later was like, oh, I'm going to explore it. That's going to hurt more, my guy. You should just start exploring right off the bat. You know what I mean? If she's crying.
This is your experience. You
100%.
deserve to explore as much as you want without being an asshole about it. There is a difference between exploring and exploring incorrectly. And just going to talk to Soul and having conversations and seeing if you guys vibe on any level, even friendship level. I know we say we hate Friendship Island, but I feel like there wasn't enough friendship in this island this year.
No, I agree. And also, I felt so sad for Soul because these girls would not speak to her because of the Melanie thing of it.
I know. Because Melanie
really
was crying
sad.
on one of those lounge chairs one day, and they saw that, and they immediately were like, fuck Sincere and Soul, like it's not worth it. And I feel like they villainize Soul in that when it's Sincere and his actions in choosing to pull her or accept being pulled for a conversation that is the issue with Melanie, whether it's right or wrong. But like that's why Soul is here. Like, we gotta let bombshell.
That was also apparent in like the pie challenge. Soul just got like really bullied by everyone. God. Yeah, I felt sad. Anyway, so then America has their chance to vote and put the bombshells with people. And so I'm so sorry. I voted for you and KC to get together, but
okay, I had war flashbacks to doing this with like to mess with Huda last year, and I was like, if it kicks off again like it did in season 7, we got to take this out because clearly like these Islanders can't handle intervention happening. So I was holding my breath no matter like how the vote went down.
I was like, I'm already not feeling Sincere. I think Soul deserves KC, and I was wrong because Soul gets paired up with Sincere, Jen gets paired up with Gabrielle, and then Caleb and Kenzie get paired up.
Yeah, and then I voted for Sincere and Soul. I thought he vibed with her way more. I feel like he was going out of his way to pull her, and they were sitting for hours. Like, the way they would sit and talk was better, in my opinion, than his talks with Melanie.
I agree. I think they just like met on like a weird level that like Melanie also wasn't in, because Sincere, though performative, is very much like, I don't want to say crunchy, but he's a little like, oh, the sun is shining and we're feeling the vibes of the day.
And Soul
like that was also like that. Whereas Melanie, I don't think is that, not deep, that's the wrong word, but like,
no, but she's like, he's more woo-woo than she is. She's sunshine and rainbows woo-woo in the personality type. Same with like Kenzie. It's just they're like, yay. Whereas like Soul and Sincere want to like feel the meaning of life.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like gurus over here.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do think Gabrielle vibes better with Bea, but we had to pair him up with someone. Or we had to pair Jen up with someone.
Yeah.
And Gabrielle was the only person talking to Jen, which Jen is hot. I don't know what we're doing. Stop
This
that shaming
island
Jen.
was crazy. Okay, I will say, I think she didn't have enough time to pack a suitcase because she clearly ran out of swimsuits and was wearing other people's and her boobs did not fit. But that is a size issue. And production just should have gotten her bathing suits that fit her.
Cares? And then Kenzie and Caleb, sure. Honestly, I didn't care.
She asked for that. She literally said she wanted a cowboy. He came in and everybody's like, okay, there's your man. Like, we're set up, match made in heaven.
What we weren't ready for, though, is then Corbin, who's the only guy single because Kenzie got taken, gets to pick one girl to match up with. And so he picks Melanie because they're kind of feeling each other. Yeah. And then Bea gets sent home, which, I felt for Gabrielle. I was like, no.
I was devastated by this.
I was devastated. I was sadder than Bea was.
I wonder if the Islanders had to vote between Bea and Melanie. Where do you think they would have fallen?
The Islanders?
Yeah, if everybody had to, vote.
I have a feeling it would have been the same. I think.
Really? Because Melanie kind of kicked off with her give me 10, that I wonder if they thought she was a little dramatic and would have.
I think Anaya and Trinity, though, had a weird soft spot for Melanie that they didn't have for Bea. I also think, and this is what pisses me off, because Bea is a strong woman because she has had to be, right? She's gone through a lot that we will never understand. She's also in the public eye. She's a Paralympian. She's had to deal with a lot with her femininity. I think people would have been like, oh, well, she's strong. She'll bounce back. And I think Sincere would have, if they had time to discuss, he would have been like, please, guys, for me, so I could talk to both.
Good point.
I just think it would have been, and I'm not saying Melanie was the victim, but I'd be like, Melanie deserves love. She wants it.
Infantilizing her a bit of she needs this. Yeah. That's a good point.
So then, this is important to, kind of know one, but Zach and Kata go to the hideaway, and they have sex.
Okay, this was a very early hideaway. And very early sex. I hate to shame them over it, but I was like, not even shame. I was just like, we're
already going.
I feel like people don't have sex on camera much anymore. That I was like, okay. This is also, just not where I thought the hideaway was going to go.
It's week 2. Not that that's not a thing, but we're in it for love, we are. Sometimes, even in the real world, I don't sleep with a guy until a month in,
I know.
You just wait.
I wasn't expecting it because of the TVs of it all. The timing, fine. Do whatever you want to do. I'm just I feel like we never see this stuff anymore.
Agreed.
And then I was fearful because then I'm like, you've now locked yourself off. You might as well be exclusive if you're banging in the hideaway.
You might as well be boyfriend and girlfriend, but we just never make it, Anyway. So then we do this was the worst. Can I tell you, this was the worst thing I've ever seen on any Love Island episode ever. And you know me, we've watched UK a lot. Yeah. The love letters.
Oh, God. Another thing that I feel like this was done too soon.
Love letters? I don't even know your last name. Love letters?
100%. I just met you.
You want me. Here's the other thing. We just had 3 bombshells that immediately entered and got paired up with someone. And now you want to be write a love letter to the person you've known for 24 hours or for 72 hours. And it's I got to pick the person 72 hours because I just know them better.
It really put the bombshells at a disadvantage because a love letter was a big ask, you're right, of somebody you just met.
A love letter is love is crazy.
Full letter, not even just put a postcard in their mailbox and that was just the exchange of the recoupling. I thought this was doing too much for where we were at. If you wanted to do this as post Casa recoupling, fine-ish. Okay, because there's more feelings involved and who are they gonna pick? Their Casa love or their OG Islander? There weren't enough high stakes here for this to be impactful in what they put in the letter.
Well, there's a reason why you normally do love letters in the finale. Because that is the point, specifically on UK, week 8, when people are finally I love you.
Yes.
for the first time I can say it.
Yeah.
Right? But in week 2 to be like, I want you to meet my family and I think I love you, or I could see myself loving you.
You're asking these islanders to love bomb each other.
Crazy. This was toxic. Anyway.
And this also highlighted the literacy crisis in America because these islanders cannot read.
When they were like, how do I write a love letter without ChatGPT? I was like, oh my God.
But when they were reading, so many of them had to pause. And this love letter was probably 2 paragraphs long.
And there weren't any big words because they all had to write it themselves. Luckily, Corbin is programmed, so he knew exactly what that love letter was saying.
This was meant for him.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to go into it, but basically each of them put a love letter in the other's mailbox, and then if they both get a love letter from the same person, they match. And then if you get multiple love letters, you get to choose. And then if you get no love letters, you're single, okay?
Go sit down, loser.
Anaya and Casey do love letters, and Anaya's like, finally, I know that Casey likes me. And I was like, girl...
He had no one else.
Jen and Gabrielle exchanged love letters, which their love letters were like, it's nice to meet you. You know what I mean?
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Kata and Zach exchanged love letters because they had sex and now they're in love. Trinity and Bryce's they do love letters. And for this, I was still, listen, I liked Trinity and Bryce. But even at this point, I was like, I feel like it's always out of convenience that these two are just like left.
I agree.
At this point, I was like, we're still left together.
Who talk to everybody, but nobody their type or of interest has come in. So what happens when one of them gets a bombshell that is of interest or their typical type?
Plus, like, okay, we paired together at the door for sure, but then like we both picked a bombshell and we both weren't picked, so we got back together. And I believe they were building a really good, solid relationship. Like I was like, their friendship because they're stuck together all the time.
Yep.
But I was like, okay, I think their love letter also, if I remember, was the only one I wasn't like weirded out by because they were just like, it's been really nice to get to know you.
They didn't try to pretend like they were in love, and I appreciate that. But that kept selling to me like, oh, this is a friendship couple,
Agreed.
And I'm just waiting for each of them to have a bombshell. And like, if they make it to Casa, they're going to find their person.
Yeah. So then Caleb and Corbin both wrote letters to Kenzie, but Kenzie wrote a letter to Corbin. Also, keep in mind, this is the longest night ever. We have to read all these love letters out in front of the rejected, too.
Over this.
I fast forwarded. I gotta be honest. I fast forwarded. I didn't give most of the season. I didn't even watch. I fast forwarded. But Kenzie wrote one to Corbin, so her and Corbin are paired up. Caleb single. I was so sad for Caleb. I don't know about you. I was heartbroken for my man.
I was like, oh, Kenzie, you said that this man was your type. He came in, and I felt like they were having decent conversations for the 24 hours that they had known each other. Like, I felt they were vibing. But it comes back to, like, the trust building or, like, wanting somebody to want you to be able to stay in the game. And I felt like Kenzie picked Corbin for the game of it all.
Yeah. Caleb is just like a sweetie pie, you know? So then Melanie and Soul both wrote sincere letters, but he wrote a letter to Melanie, which broke my heart for Soul. I was so sad for my bitch. Oh, I was sad. So then Caleb and Soul get coupled up together, which I was like, honestly, no, y'all should fuck. Just to have some fun in this villa.
But like, I didn't understand how this season was deciding when we're kicking people out when they're single, when we're deciding they're a couple together. Like, we didn't follow the traditional Love Island format of recouplings and choosings and doing a vote to make people, you know, vulnerable, and then having singles, but a bombshell will come in, and so then we like repeat the cycle of recoupling. And
there was no rhyme or reason. There was zero rhyme or reason for anything. Why would these two be a couple? Either kick them out or bring in 2 more bombshells. Why would you put these two together?
This would be a perfect opportunity to bring in 2 new bombshells where they go outside and go on a date at a table.
Yeah. And make them Melanie and Kenzie's types, or opposite. What was I saying? Yeah. Make it sincere. No. Make it Melanie's type and make it Corbin's type. And they both go out. Because then that might cause some drama. I don't know. It was very strange. Because also bombshells aren't allowed. If you come in with a bombshell, the rule is you're not supposed to pair up with that bombshell. Which, like, I get that they're not bombshells anymore, but also...
there's always that vibe of, like, you're my brother or my sister, my bombshell brother, sister. No, and so, like, they immediately get tagged with, like, I can never Yeah.
This was
You could
weird
tell
family
me way
dynamics.
down the line, maybe something happens, but it just 24 hours. It's been 24 hours and you guys are in the sibling nature still.
So then America gets to vote for their favorite couple, which I was like, at this point,
this is cruel.
Just send Sol and Caleb home. Why are you keeping them around?
I know.
Okay, so basically the three couples that were in last place were Kenzie and Corbin, Gabe and Jen, and Caleb and Sol, which
Sol.
all the bombshells
Obviously.
and whoever they're matched with for sure.
Yeah.
And then the Islanders have to decide. So the boys have to pick to dump a girl, and the girls have to pick to dump a boy, which I hate when they do this, especially when, like, y'all don't really, it's two bombshells. One of the bombshells is going to go.
I know. I feel like USA production did too much and too little all at the same time.
Agreed.
Is you guys pulled all these people apart that were building connections, forced them by your hand to be with other people, within 5 seconds pulled them apart again, and then had these weird couples, and then now we're doing a vote? Like, that's not giving the bombshells a fair shot.
No, 100%. So they end up dumping Gabe and Sol, which Sol was like, thank God I can leave. Yeah. And I was like, but I was surprised a little about Gabe.
So surprised, even after the girls gave their explanation, because he's too lustful. I was like, stop. No,
also,
pack it up now. Like, what the fuck?
This isn't Turning Point USA lustful. What are we talking about?
This is the first time it was used in the season, and I was like, what?
Keep
what show you're on?
Keep your conservative agenda at home. What are you talking about? Lustful? Kata and Zach just had sex after 12 minutes of knowing each other in the hideaway.
We did Paradise Cove where we had 2 thruples. We had a mega bed where everybody was forced to make out with everybody while some of them were blindfolded. Okay.
Lustful? This man. And then they were like, oh, he was with Bea and then he was with Jen. He would have been with Bea if not for the vote we all had to do. We made him do. What are you talking about? Lustful. Oh my God. Leave your conservative agenda at the door. If he wants to make out with 2 girls, because one he is forced to because of America, let him. Okay?
I know.
Because Melanie's making out with 2 guys right in front of them. They're not blindfolded. That's
Everyone
not lustful.
else was doing it.
Kenzie, your first conversation with Corbin was, when can we use handcuffs for sex? Lustful. You're making out with Caleb and Corbin at the same time. What are you talking about?
That's all fine. But why is it not fine for him to do?
Why is it not fine for a person of color? Because by now, all 3 people that have been booted are people of color. And Love Island USA, you've pissed me off already.
I will say percentages of people of color are an incredible rate. So, like, they are the majority.
Get rid of the white people. Why can't we have all people of color? You know what I mean?
Explanation. If you said that, like, you didn't like him and you guys liked, the other 2 guys more and you cared about your connections more, fine. But don't act holier than thou over this man.
Anyway, let's get to Casa, shall we?
Which is crazy we're at Casa already.
I think producers were like, the audience is just dying. We gotta move up Casa. Because we were dying.
It always comes halfway. This was
halfway? This was 2 weeks. You cannot convince me.
This is where I'll tell you my argument about USA and why it's so bad. It sounds crazy, but it being 2 weeks shorter than UK changes a lot. That Casa point being at 3 weeks versus 4 weeks means that, like, relationships aren't as developed. US also, like I said, pulls their contestants away and pushes them back to each other. So there's a lot of a very erratic behavior in coupling up, but it's never by the contestants choosing each other. It's like these weird games or votes that are happening.
It's gimmicks all the time.
Yes. And so it's never somebody actually being chosen. It's weird. And then also the lack of bombshells coming in. The UK house has like twice the size of beds, like amount of beds in that villa, because they have the main room where beds are. And then they have those pull down beds, both single and then doubles. So they're able to flex the house up to almost double the size that US is able to do, which means people can mix and mingle. There's a lot more, there's a higher chance that your type is going to be in there and that you're going to talk to people because you are, like the insecurity thing actually gets used to UK's advantage because you're forced to explore because you're very worried that you're not going to have a partner at the end of the day. And because they've 8 weeks, they can flex it up so much and get it back down within the 8 weeks. But US can only do a small bump of people, both because of the size of the house and the length of time. And so we're never going to have people swapping partners because there just isn't anybody to swap with.
Ugh. So we do Casa to try and swap these bitches up. I will say, US, because we needed to break these couples up, thank you for live streaming the boys getting lap dances.
Okay.
That was a good move.
One thing they did right.
That was great.
Because I think you always have to mix up how you fuck over the boys' Casa experience. Otherwise, they're going to know and they're going to strategize on how to be on their best behavior so they don't get caught in the lies, except for movie night, which they do and don't know is coming. It's like, okay, cool, I can be a little flirty here because what are the chances that this messy event is going to make it all to movie night? Don't worry, we're going to make it its own movie night.
Yep, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guys, of course, get lap dances. Most notably, they're touching asses. Corbin says Kenzie's out the window. That really pissed her off. And can I say,
actually,
yeah,
that was KC who said that to Corbin.
Hilarious, even funnier.
Yeah, it got tagged to Corbin heavily.
I will say, Kenzie, this is where you won major points with me because she saw this and she said, I'm also going to do Casa because fuck you. All the other girls were like, I know we saw our men picking other girls, but we're still going to believe in them. And I was like, no.
I know.
No.
Because what that experience does of watching those guys do that, it's supposed to invoke the need for the girls to be like, well, if they're exploring, I'm exploring. And when we didn't get that, I was so disappointed. But Kenzie, that's the second time she stands on business because she did that with Zach. When Zach went to Paradise Cove and met Kada, she said, I'm never looking that man in the eyes again. And she did not the entire season.
She didn't.
And then with this, she was like, I'm done. I'm finding someone new. And she stood on business.
Hell yeah. And she even told the other girls, she was like, you don't want to regret, you don't want to pick him and have him come home with someone. You pick someone. Which, can I just say, 3 weeks in having a Casa, all of you should come back with new people. Make people sleep in the day beds because you brought so many people back, okay? We should all be bringing people back.
We should have, I forget who said it in season 6, is we have got too many bodies in this bitch. Like, we should have. Pulling in cots because we have too many people.
What is there?
Because
if
you're not going to get dumped, if there is not a risk for dumping, which I think they should tell the Islanders what the risk is, like if their old couple would be dumped or not. I do understand when typically the guys bring someone back and say, I just wanted to see with both exploring. Of you here what it's like. I wanted to explore both. I think that's a valid reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so then the next day, the Casa boys show up, and then we got double the amount of boys, okay?
I like
you thought 5, we're going to bring 10, and they're on a boat right past Casa,
it was Casa, 12,
right?
actually.
Or 12, even better. We got 6 girls, 12 boys. I don't even know. There's so many people.
We need more guys than Casa girls because the girls are less likely to explore, but especially if they don't have an initial spark with anybody. So, like, let's just flood the zone.
Yeah. Can I tell you, immediately, I locked eyes with Carl. Immediately.
I was
like, that's my man.
His hair is so good.
Oh, he has his body. I was like, someone's got to just keep him for the view, please.
I also liked that the OG boys from Casa could see the boat of 12 guys coming in. Incredible, cinematic, beautiful, no notes.
Is there anything you really want to like hit on in Casa? Because I'm good. They get postcards of each other making out.
The only thing I want to say is, again, we need more bodies in this bitch. Is why did we send 6 of those Casa guys home basically immediately? If you told me halfway through they have to get rid of some, fine. But I don't like that we just did like a 4-hour pool party and then we make out with all of them because that's our thing is we all have to make out. And then we're just like, immediate decision.
It was disgusting. The makeout, the pick to kiss was disgusting.
It's too much.
I did like in Casa that I felt like trying to explore. Melanie even had a kiss.
I know.
Melanie and Corey, I was very pro that.
Me too.
That was my main one I was hoping for. And then obviously anyone to keep Carl. I didn't care. I didn't care if it was Kenzie. I was like, someone pick Carl, please. But he liked Anaya. He was.
He was in it. They were having good conversations. They bonded over volleyball. And I was like, this is it.
That's a love match, let me tell you, right? Okay. So on the boys' side, again, not much to know. They're all mingling.
Mm-hmm.
Alana does get removed, who was talking to Zach because of another racial slur video.
One thing with Alana before that, when she said that she had kissed Zach's brother, Charlie. I was like, immediately it's a no. Like, we're moving on. If that's me, I'm not kissing siblings.
Weird family dynamics. We're
what
not
is
pro.
With people and brothers?
I don't. Disgusting, dude. Anyway, the only other thing to note is Caleb was trying to talk to Parmita, but she picked my robot Corbin.
Oh, right. And then also Bryce is like yearning at
Oh, we got to talk about Bryce and Trinity. Bryce is down. This was where I believed in love. He was down bad, this man. He missed her so much.
He's just staring at the villa from afar. And people that I was watching with were like, oh my God, somebody has to, I bet production forced somebody to be with Bryce at all times so he didn't jump or like try to run away. Like,
poor Sydney, which was the girl kind of left not talking to anyone in Casa. She was just babysitting. She was just like on suicide watch with Bryce because I think he was down.
When you're like this, where you realize I do actually have feelings for someone, that's the only time I'm not mad at you for not bringing someone back from Casa. Because
agreed.
I think it should be two roads. Is either I've kind of connected with someone and I'm semi-vibing with them and like, let's figure it out back in the villa. Or this has made me confront the fork in the road of I don't want to explore it all. I actually really do have feelings for you.
100%. If you don't have feelings for anyone else and you have feelings for that person in the villa, for sure, go get it. If you have an inkling of a like for someone else, bring them back. Let's just do it.
If you're willing to kiss other people, you're willing to explore, bring that person back.
Bryce wasn't willing. And Trinity did, but after a while, she was like, wait, I am also down bad. Which I was pro. I'm pro down bad.
And I really like that she explored, had that photo booth moment, and then was like, wait a minute.
No, I love my white mans, Okay. So we'd have our Casa recoupling. We're all coming back together. The girls have to tell us if they're single, if they're going to take someone back or not. And then the boys come in. I don't remember what order, to be quite honest, but I can tell you that Caleb comes in. Everyone's so happy.
Everyone's thrilled.
They missed Caleb bad, dude. Like, they loved it. And
I love when the single boy comes back and everybody's just so happy for him.
I also think Caleb was just big little brother vibes, where everyone was like, we're so proud of you and she is gorgeous. Your moms are so proud.
It's nice to start off the Casa recoupling, with a happy moment. Then you're like, cute. All right, let's get to the savage moment.
And then Jen picks Gal, the coffee guy.
Like, that man?
But sure, whatever, Jen.
Okay.
Go on.
All right.
Okay, so then we have Corbin walk in with Parmita, but it's okay because Kenzie picked Dylan, but everyone's still mad at Corbin. They all tomato him. Tomato.
That was so funny. Them literally going, tomato, boo.
Yeah. I do think, though, here's my thing about Casa, right? I understand us being upset if you did something or left the girl. However, when someone's walking in with another girl, I understand how that girl immediately is on defense because you're just yelling. And I get you're mad at the mans I'm walking in with, but you also then that means don't really like me and I'm on the outs and like this is just not a good environment. And I have to say, I know everyone's going to go back to like, but season 6, they did not boo while these people were walking up. They were looking around at each other.
That's tough.
And then when the guy started talking, then they pounced at him.
It was very clear who the target was. I didn't think about that.
They let everyone walk in. But if I was Parmita and everyone's going, tomato, I'd be like, fuck y'all. You know what I mean?
Your defenses are immediate up that anything else they say. I think also what's trickier is when Kenzie picks someone else, you both just got to move on. Like, you
tomato back at you.
Scorned woman when you chose to pick someone. I think you can be mad at him, and when you have that one-on-one conversation, be mad at him for what he said. But you guys both broke this couple up. It's not all on him anymore.
I would have been like, tomato back at you, girl.
I get Corbin and Brinity being like, you've got someone. Why are you yelling at me?
Because also, then you're like, we saw you on that video. He doesn't remember what the fuck he said that you're mad about. Yeah. What are you talking about? Tomato back, you know? So, whatever. Then Zach comes in single. Kata's single. Everyone, it's disgusting. I'm not pro this couple.
I'm not either, especially because you just know, like, they're not going to talk about why his exploring, you know, got cut short, or like what happened there. Like, I just immediately was like, whatever. Like, we have another person from the villa. We're not going to talk about it. This isn't going to be satisfying.
This was me going, tomato, tomato. You know, I don't care.
I don't feel it with them. Like, they hit all these check marks, and I'm like, okay, and like,
they're like, we're in. Well, they're not in love, but they're like, we like each other. And I'm like, no, you don't.
I'm like, do you?
Do you? Because there's something missing.
I think something missing. As a whole, there's a lot of words and a lot of actions that don't align, and I can see it as the viewer, and maybe there's context missing, and you can tell me there's a different story, but from what I am seeing is that I don't feel a lot of the things that are happening. Whether it's somebody going between two people, like sincere is like saying and doing different things, or in a couple, you're saying you like each other, but I don't see it.
I think it's also just like the lack of deep conversations we saw where it'd be like, oh, I'd love to take you back to England. And she's like, I would genuinely love to go to England. That's so cute. And I was like, we don't even know. He'd be like, yeah, my grandma has a pot roast or Sunday dinner. And she's like, oh my God, I love grandmas. And I'm like, we are talking about two different things.
That's the thing. It's like, you guys aren't like bonding over anything. You're just saying words at each other.
It's like, we're not actually having a meaningful. He's like, I love a Sunday roast. And she's like, I love grandmas. And it's like, oh, there's a connection. And they also do the thing where it's like, oh, my grandma's favorite color is blue. And then someone else will be like, I have a grandma, but we're not actually asking questions about your grandma and her favorite color being blue.
About who your life is and what's going on.
If you tell me you're from England, I would maybe say, what part of England are you from? Instead, Kata responds with, I love airplanes and flying places. And it's like, okay.
And it's like,
that's lovely.
Cool. We could also dive into that too, now that you've just thrown that out there, but we don't even latch on to that new topic.
Zach responds with, I flew here on an airplane from England. And you're like, great. That's up.
It's a game of tennis where they keep shooting balls over the net, but they don't hit it back
at the same time. It's just they keep serving at the same time. Hilarious. Anyway, let's go back to what we're talking about. Okay, Sincere walks in alone. Melanie's standing alone. Reunited once again.
Hated this.
Thank God, what would we do without it?
Oh my, well, I was actually looking forward to this because I knew movie night would settle this one out.
The toxic cycle continues because I was like, she's going to be so excited that he's like here. And even if movie night, I knew, even if movie night happened, she's going to be like, but in the end, he did pick me. And I'm going to be like, no.
That's my issue.
Okay.
People think that the end decision overrides any of the messiness. And I think this is the key to Love Island in a messy season is, because I'm seeing this on UK, is a guy thinks he can explore all he wants, but as long as he settles back with the girl that he just wronged, it doesn't matter. And the girl typically makes that happen and makes it okay. And I'm like, oh, no. You would be hearing from me. Tomato.
Okay, then we have Bryce and Trinity. Oh, I was giddy. My little feet were kicking. He was like, you know what? This is why I know Bryce is 30 years old and these other men are not. Because he came in and he said, even though I saw you kiss in the photo booth, I missed you so much, girl. I came back. I was dying without you. And she then responded with, I miss you too. Oh my God. Because she had the reassurance. And I get we're all children on this show except Bryce. But all the other guys came in, they're like, I'm happy she's she's alone so that I can now have her. Bryce was like, oh my God, I see your smile and I'm alive again. You know what I mean?
The way he talked about her, and there's these little actions, because I think the girls take like the, oh, we recoupled together as like some big action, but this is the forcedness of the game. Yeah. Whereas Bryce, when he came in, ran to be able to see her quicker. He was like frazzled, and I think that shows a sign of like, oh my God, he was just overwhelmed with emotions, and the way he talked to her, not to Ariana. A lot of the guys, when they would talk about the girl and Ariana would ask them questions, would just talk to Ariana about it. He talks to Trinity. And same like later on, like Carl and Anaya, they talk to each other when questions are asked. And I think that is a perfect representation of like your actual feelings in play. Whereas like Kata and Zach are like in La La Land talking to whoever is talking to them rather than each other.
Yeah, it was cute. Trinity was then talking back to him, and he even looked at Ariana and he's like, can I go? And I was like, go.
He could not spend one more minute away from her, even if it was just from 3 feet away.
Oh, I was in it. And then Anaya does not pick to bring Carl back. Which,
no, I was ready to throw hands.
Listen up, Anaya. You fucked up right there. And I know you know it, but let me tell you, at that moment, I said I'll never I cannot root for you right now. You are not my homegirl anymore.
It doesn't make you cool to be loyal to a fault.
To someone who hasn't really shown you anything.
Yeah, what are you loyal to?
To the idea, to the followers. Like, what are we doing?
It's like this like false sense of security because we've like spent these 3 weeks together, but it's like, how have you spent them?
Sorry. It's so stupid. She's like, oh, I've just spent more time with Casey. She's literally like, Carl tells me everything I need to hear. He treats me so right. He's so perfect. But I've known Casey for quite some time, and I guess he's treated me terribly, but I guess like that longevity.
Everybody was like, you light up around Carl. I've never seen you happier. And it's like, what were you 3 weeks with KC? You were constantly seeking reassurance. He was verbally telling you that, but you knew something was off. You were crying a lot. Like, how can you not see that within yourself? I don't understand. Like, as someone who doesn't know her own emotions, that's a pretty clear one when you are externally showing your emotions.
I also feel like people are really scared for the villa to get mad at them, right? So if she picks Carl and Casey comes back alone, all the boys are going to be mad at her. She doesn't want that. Who cares? I know you guys are all like, these are my best friend. You've known each other for 5 seconds. But it's okay.
But this Love Island season has been very judgmental. And so I see that even more so because yes, that automatically does exist. But again, we don't have the friend island we're used to where you have people that will back your decision no matter if you were right, wrong, indifferent. So like weirdly, they're very, very concerned about people's perception.
I do think the girls would have had her on this one because Carl is incredible.
But the thing is like, they don't think that. They automatically assume everybody's going to judge and attack them because we literally just voted Gabrielle out for being lustful. Like, she's worried she's going to be the lustful girl who wants 2 guys at a time.
You know what, though? Gotta give it to Corbin. He didn't give a fuck. He walked in and he said, tomato me. Tomato me. Yes. And you know what? I grew to love Corbin.
Stand on it. Corbin stood on his decisions every single time, and I do appreciate that.
Was a man. Anyway, so she breaks Carl's heart, and he's sitting there. He's like, "It's okay," and I can't talk about it.
Anaya's heart gets crushed, and then he's like, "You're okay."
Casey walks in, and everyone starts screaming at him and TT, right? Which again, if I'm TT. Fuck y'all, right?
I did not even think about that from her perspective.
I didn't fault her for a second. I'm walking in and you're automatic. Y'all start just yelling towards me. I know it's towards him, but they're saying, how could you do that? You had a great girl here and you downgrade it? No, I don't fucking think so. Y'all don't know me.
The one thing I do think is most girls typically watch this show. So if you are a viewer of this show and you end up being a Casa Girls, you should know to just shut the fuck up and write it out. And not that it's okay, but like it's better just to never say anything.
That, but I also think Casa Girls wait till they get there and then attack the man. Don't start tomatoing. Give them a sec.
Yeah.
Give them a sec because it's not the girl's fault. And I know they know that. Yeah. Because at the end of it, they were like, it's not about you. But just give it a sec. You know what I mean?
And I think what's hard is the OG girls, when the girl would first walk in but could not hear them, they would compliment them, be like, she's gorgeous. But the Casa girl cannot hear that.
No.
And so the first thing, you're right, is that they hear is tomato, tomato, boo, boo. How could you?
Yeah. Anyway, so then the fight ensues. You know, KC starts
His fight was epic,
chirping
though.
back. And then TT, she's like, look, he fucking picked me. And then Trinity was like, it's not about you, I'm talking to him. And she's like, well, it's about me now, you're talking to me. And Trinity's like, I don't know you. And she goes, I'm TT. And I went,
no.
I was like, don't you yell at my girl. But then I was like, but you know what TT though?
She's holding her own.
Listen, I get it's crazy to stand by your man of 5 minutes and protect him. That was nuts. But also, y'all just keep yelling. You don't let us say a fucking thing. And that's the other thing is no one ever is just like I get it. But it's a new situation. You have to be like courteous. I keep saying it. As soon as they walked up, again, they're kind of attacking TT in the sense of they're like, you picked her over Anaya? Like, what the fuck? They're not letting him speak. Hell yeah. TT shows up and she's like, I'm TT.
And a lot of it is also context. The guys don't know the girls are mad because they watched that heart rate challenge. Like, the guys just think they're mad because they picked a new partner. And that really gets lost in translation to this specific pairing, because the things KC was saying and what they saw in the postcard is why they're mad, not just because you picked a new person.
They just don't know. So it's very heightened emotion, but man, was that funny. I'm TT.
I will say, awesome. When TT said little girl to Trinity, I said, okay, you've taken it way too far now.
I was like, don't dare. Because
what you're doing is you're ruining your future of ever being friends with these people now, because now you are talking down to the OGs. And, like, there is a class system in
unfortunately
Love Island between the OGs, the bombshells, and the Casa people of, like, who the fuck are you? This is my house.
But still you rise, I guess, you know? That was awesome. Anyway, okay, so that's how it goes. And I is the only single one. Heartbroken, this girl.
Oh, my God.
Carl
Carl's
has
sitting
to
there
leave.
going, it's okay.
You're okay,
Anaya.
Anaya. It's okay, Anaya. But I said, you know what, Anaya? This is half on you. You could have picked Carl.
100%. You don't deserve him.
Hell yeah. Carl, come out. I was like, Carl and Sierra Miller on After Sun.
Oh, honey.
He loves himself some chocolate. So I was like, I was like, if she can't see it, Sierra can. Sierra can. Anyway. Then we have Megan Thee Stallion come in for round 2. I love me some Megan Thee Stallion.
It is so funny when she comes in. Good. Because she does the right amount of alluding to what we are talking about online. But the Islanders don't get it. So it doesn't change their course. It's like somebody from the future talking to people. Or somebody from the past. Oh, wait. Somebody from the future talking to people from the past.
Yes,
wait, I don't even know.
You're right. You're right.
I'm getting time changed. But I love it because it doesn't change how they really act. They just get like excited about things being said or something. Yeah. And they're like, oh my God. And it's inconsequential stuff. Like when Meg was like, Melanie, like that doesn't matter.
No, she has no idea. Also, I will say the girls have patched things up. TT and Trinity did talk. All the girls made it clear we're not mad at any of the Casa girls, which I think is important because it does seem crazy.
That's the thing. For the Casa girls to come in silent and not really say anything at the recoupling, the OG girls' responsibility is to welcome them with open arms once things are over.
Died out. Which they do. Okay, so then we do all these cake games. It doesn't really matter. Still you rise, I guess. It took forever. Anyway, at the end, it's revealed that Carl and Amor are coming back because America voted for a boy and a girl from Casa to come back. And this was solely because we would have lit that villa on fire if Carl didn't get a chance.
No, and I know. I wondered if this was a last minute add-in and how funny to like pivot this shit to bring them back.
Because they added 2 new beds. They said, well, I guess. But also, when I saw Carl come in, I said he should talk to a lot of other people too, because Anaya already didn't choose him once.
I know.
So, but he comes in. Well, first, Amora, poor Amora, she really just had no chance.
I was like, okay, this is the bad thing about this vote is like Amora just getting like strung along because they needed Carl to come back, but they couldn't just say it.
Mm-hmm. The only good thing is this is where TT got some good points from me. She looked at Amora and she's like, Sincere's not being honest with Melanie, we got to take him down.
Loved her for that. I was like,
Hell yeah,
stir this villa up. Like, that was Amora's job, is to come in and share the truth.
Yeah. And then Carl did tell Anaya, he's like, I have some walls because you didn't pick me.
And those walls were tissue paper.
Yep. It didn't even last. And then we go to movie night. I love when we have movie night. I don't think these people know they're on a TV show half the time. It's incredible.
The
you know
boys
what I mean?
especially. Like,
no idea.
Do your research when you're going on a TV show, people. Because
no idea.
I have never seen the feature films we got like we did this year. Normally it's like a 2-minute clip. We got like 20-minute segments. It was
also,
so bad.
Usually one person gets one clip. Sincere got like 40.
I know.
They were like, he's behind doors 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 9.
And we normally get titles where they have to pick them. And I just assume they show the Islanders all of them and we only see, the best ones. They had 8 videos locked and loaded, no titles.
No.
Like, they were just letting them rip at their own choice.
I love that they were like, the boys might pick the door and the girls might pick the door. It didn't matter.
Dumb. No.
It didn't matter. The girls could have picked number 2 and the boys could have picked number 2. It was going to be the same clip either way and we were going to roast the boys probably. It was probably Sincere.
No, I don't even think the numbers mattered. I think the production had a list and an order of that they wanted to show them. And when they said pick door 8, they go movie title 2 that we wanted anyways.
Okay, we got them listed. Just start
the
pressing
coin flip
play.
was dumb. It pissed me off because in other seasons sometimes there are different video lists. Mm-hmm. And so you pick one from the boys list as the girls. But this was just a free-for-all in general. Agreed. And so I was like, okay, this was dumb. You could have just been like, roll a dice for the number.
They should have just said, y'all sit down. Don't even get up.
That's so
We're
true.
just going to play you for 2 hours. Don't even speak to each other, honestly. Yeah. Keep track of what's happening in your mind because we don't even pause anymore.
Honestly, let me just give you all an iPad. You watch at your own rate. I know normally you don't get a pen and paper, but how about you take some notes, write some quotes down, get it going.
100%. We'll give you the iPad so you can pause when needed to make sure you get it correct. Anyway, just some people who were hit pretty hard. Casey... Him and Anaya got into it, which can I say, people were upset that Anaya stood up and gave Casey a piece of her mind. However, if Casey stood up at me, I'm up. I don't care. And if I'm Anaya's friend, I'm up too. What are you standing for? That was the correct response. What are you up for?
100%. Especially after everything he said in that clip. You're going to talk to me like that behind my back? I'm going to say it to your fucking face.
Yeah. I'm up. How about
you
this?
I'm TT me in this?
Yeah, I'm TT now. That's what
100%. Because the thing is like so a funny. Man standing up is so much more aggressive. It's not about his race. It's about being a man versus a female. And what are you doing that for?
Why do you
wanted power because you weren't being heard. And like, so you think standing up is going to give you the leg up and you're doing that on purpose. You want to intimidate them so your voice can be heard. And while, yes, I think like they were talking over him, he should have been able to be heard. Standing up is not the way to do it. And then whenever she reacts in a similar fashion to you and gets like in your face, now we're going to cry that he's the victim of this. No.
Kenzie got hit pretty hard, which I didn't think Kenzie's were like that bad.
But I like how she handled it. If she sat there and the girls coached her through it, I will say.
The girls were like, shh.
Yeah.
Caleb has a right to be a little upset.
I'm sorry. Your feelings were hurt. Like, she was just like,
she was about to be like, well, and the girls were like, no, not our Caleb. Not our Caleb.
No.
And then, of course, Sincere got about 50% of those clips just for himself.
But I will say it was so much that I think it ended up getting lost in the shuffle because they were inundated with like, oh, Sincere's bad, that it lost its oomph because it's just like, oh, here's another thing of Sincere did.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I did appreciate Melanie standing up when she's like, being chosen is not the prize, like she really was going through it and he kept arguing and I was like, Carl, shut him up.
I know.
Carl, get in there.
He had his little hand tooted up, and I said, put that fucking hand down, you
At
liar.
one point, Bryce was like, shh, it's okay. It's...
The guys being appalled by that one clip, I was like, yeah, no, when you don't have anyone on your side, you've really done wrong.
So Melanie, very upset, walks away, was crying. Anaya, again, girl, you're kind of on my list. She goes up and she's like, but Sincere really likes you. Anaya.
No.
I was pissed at you. I clocked it immediately and said, you're a bad friend.
I know,
you're a bad friend immediately.
Pre-movie night, Sincere did all of that stuff one-on-one, and that's why everybody was so taken aback, because that's not who they thought he was. So I understand. Before that, you're having conversations with Sincere and you're taking him at face value. However, now you've seen all the things he's doing behind your back as your friend. He's lying to you as well. And doing that to Melanie and playing in her face. And you're gonna back that
defend him
right after movie night? He's done nothing to fix this.
She's on the floor. Pissed. She's on the floor crying, and you're like, but you should be with him
while she's down.
Yeah, for sure. Bad friend, bad vibes.
Why do you want her to be with this, quite frankly, abusive man?
I know you want her in the house, but I would rather, if I really love someone, be like, you need to leave single rather than stay here with this terrible man.
For this.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, why would you want her to stay under these circumstances?
Also, I've known you for 4 weeks. I'm sure I'll get over it. You know what I mean?
I'll find your Instagram after I leave here. We'll figure it out.
Let's plan a trip to Greece.
Well, we have Beyond the Villa now. Like, you're not going to be untethered from these people.
We're all moving to LA after this. Let's, not pretend we aren't. Anaya, girl, you're rich. You got a private jet.
I mean, we would have lifted her up so much.
Oh, she
I was
won.
Excited for her on how I didn't want this to impact her, obviously negatively. However, he has done these things, so her finding them out was necessary. But I was like, she's taking this very seriously, and I appreciate that, and I hope she stands firm in this. Spoiler alert, she does not.
Okay, so then we do a recoupling, right? Basically, the boys get to pick again.
Why do the boys always get to choose?
We always have too many girls, apparently.
Because we don't formulate this game correctly.
I know. So Zach picks Kata, Sincere picks Melanie because they're okay again. Caleb picks Jaden, Corbin picks Parmita. Corbin and Parmita weirdly became one of my favorite couples.
I hope that they are okay with all the jokes that were floating around, because I didn't ever mean it with ill intent. It was so fun.
Corbin out the villa goes, oh no, they think I'm AI. I've never cackled so hard. But
it's the only reason I watched that after Sun is I needed that moment. This
really was just two hot people, and then they slowly started to maybe like each other, but I weirdly liked it.
They literally were hot people who worked out, and that's what they had in common.
All Anaya and Carl are talking about is volleyball. You know, we all need some place to start.
Okay, that's a real interest.
They
would
like
actually
working
play
out.
Volleyball.
Working out is they could work out together. What are you talking about? It's the same thing. They both like robots. What are you talking about?
They both are robots.
What are you talking about? They're perfect. She's a fembot. He's AI. It's perfect. What are we talking about? Anyway, Bryce picks Trinity. Casey picks TT. Gal picks Amora. Carl picks Anaya. Dylan picks Kenzie. And dumped is Jen, which I'm sad about. But Ariana does tell her, you're not leaving alone. And I love Jen going, I'm sad I'm leaving, but I'm selfishly happy someone's coming with me.
I loved that too, and I loved immediately it was Gaul who thought he had so much power.
Not anymore.
Over Jen, and then it's like, ha ha ha, joke's on you, get the fuck out of here too.
Poor Amora. She's like, can I just get out? Anyway.
I know.
So this was my favorite elimination gimmick that they did, where everyone had to pick two couples that they found least compatible and then to each other's face tell you about it.
That's the thing, because in the past we've seen it where they just texted in and then it goes into a vote and America votes on the lower couples. I like that they had to say it to their face, walk over and put hearts in their in their little thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I did watch this to make sure I got the order right. Not that it matters, but everyone picks Gaul and Amora. So I'll just leave them out. Okay, Anaya and Carl pick Jaden and Caleb, which I think there are a lot of, here's my thing. Immediately when you say compatible, again comes up like the time
I
essence of
know.
it. But if we're really looking at compatibility, you can also fight of like maybe Gal and Amora are compatible. They just haven't had the time. So
I know.
But if you've had the time and I still don't find you compatible, Sincere and Melanie, you're out. You know what I mean? That's how I would have done this.
I understand picking one easy couple based on time, but if you pick two couples based on like, oh,
you're just
like
picking your
haven't
friend.
Exactly.
You're just picking your friend.
And I like goes into the time factor with Love Island USA only being 6 weeks. I like when this one comes up and it's not right after Casa or like people have had a little bit of time to sit in their relationships, whether it is post Casa or pre Casa, to be like, wait, do they actually work? And we don't just get two easy picks to just knock out.
So I have to say, Parmita and Corbin, I would have aligned with that. I would have done what they did.
They
which
stood
we'll get
on
there.
business, and I appreciated that. And how they said it. They weren't demeaning, because I think some people took cheap shots during this, which is easy to do when you don't like someone. But I like when you take it seriously. Are you compatible? And they said, Sincere and Melanie, you are not, baby girl.
So just to go in order, Anaya and Carl picked Jaden and Caleb. Trinity and Bryce picked Jaden and Caleb. Jaden and Caleb picked Kenzie and Dylan, which I also think was just like Caleb didn't like Kenzie, which
I agree. He was so mad from movie night.
He was mad. Kenzie and Dylan picked Parmita and Corbin, which again I think was just we're mad at you because they were taking shots or whatever. Parmita and Corbin picked Melanie and Sincere, which Parmita said, I wouldn't want my friend in that relationship. She deserves better. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
eat him up.
She said, like, your friends aren't being good friends if they tell you to be with him. And Melanie said, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I was like, Parmita, big points. Big points in my book.
Huge. Yeah.
Amor and Gal also picked Sincere and Melanie. And Amor is like, you don't know, but he's not being sincere with you. Melanie and Sincere picked Kenzie and Dylan, which Kenzie was like, I thought we were friends.
I was shocked by that.
I don't think they're, like, Dylan and Kenzie, I don't think they're the least compatible of everyone.
I agree.
Do I think they're that compatible? No. But
I also think we've seen them, Kenzie and Dylan and Caleb and, is her name Jaden? The least. Yeah. So, like, as an audience, I don't know anything about them, but I don't think that they're wildly uncompatible.
No, and I think that they're what they said too, where they're like, after movie night, we saw Kenzie and she's just been exploring a lot. She's been lustful. God forbid.
When they said that, I was like, okay, yes. Could Kenzie have gone, like, and done some things a different way? Sure. But you think she's incompatible with this new guy because of something she did 3 weeks ago?
Sure.
Okay.
Math. Got it. Casey and TT picked Dylan and Kenzie. I will say, though, they also picked Amora and Gal, which I know hurt TT because Amora is her best friend, which proves that they were doing it based off of compatibility and not friendship. Yeah. Zach and Kata picked Caleb and Jaden, which means Amora and Gal, Caleb and Jaden dumped from the island. Sad, Caleb. Oh, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I
know, but this was like easy sweeping it. That's what annoyed me is I was like, what was the point of this when you're just going to pick low-hanging fruit?
Yeah. So now, shall we karaoke for our lives?
No, I hated this.
Okay, can I say, though, Zach and Kata, whatever song you fucking did, that was the worst I fast-forwarded. Really? It was so boring. Okay, let me tell you. Corbin and Parmita did Senorita. I love it when you call. Can I say, it was so funny because they were both so bad, but they were cracking up while doing it. I loved it. Fun. I thought
this
is
also
funny.
My nightmare. If I had to go on Love Island and you're telling me I have to do this, the only reason I do karaoke is when I'm hammered and everybody else is screaming. There was no audience to drown out what that sound was. Nobody was good at singing.
I will say, everyone when they read that was like, "This is my nightmare," and I was like, "That's when I would just self-eject."
Yes.
I'd be like, I'm
make
not
up
gonna
dances.
do it.
Like, what is this 7th grade gym class?
Like, apologies to my partner. I would look at him and be like, if this is a deal breaker for you, I'm not gonna do it. And if that makes me a quitter, then don't date me because I'm not gonna do it.
Hear me out. they should have done like a lip sync battle where you don't actually have to sing.
Lip sync for your lives would have been better.
Yeah.
That's why we have that on RuPaul's Drag Race and not this bullshit. Anyway,
Yeah.
Kate and Zach, the fucking worst. Oh my, it was this slow song where they just stared at each other and they're
Shut
both
up.
so bad. They did Endless Love and they're like, that proves
my
that
God.
we really are doing something. Casey and TT, one of my favorites. They did Ain't No Mountain High Enough, which was
Obsessed.
a fun karaoke song.
Yeah.
Kate and Zach, we can't all sing along, but TT and Casey, everyone was clapping. They were doing a dance. It was so stupid. Dad, I had a lot of fun. Trinity and Bryce were my favorite. They did No Air, and Bryce was
Oh my God.
He was in a 2000s boy band. He was killing
Obsessed.
it. Anaya and Carl did a good job. They did Dilemma, which was also a fun song for everyone to dance to. And then Kenzie and Dylan did Don't Go Breaking My Heart. And they had
I saw that they had a double split.
They
which,
did splits.
Signature move, the clam slam.
Yep. And then Melanie and Sincere did You're the One That I Want from Greece.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was. But Melanie did say, she's like, that's the most fun I've had with Sincere, which I was like, congratulations. But like, that doesn't erase things.
But also, the most fun you had was something he didn't set up or do.
Yeah.
He participated in it, but
He
it's like
had
the
to.
show, in the structure of the show, it made it fun for you.
Okay, so then the Islanders all have to vote for who did the best, and it was Kenzie and Dylan, which like great.
How did
It's
the
just
votes stack up? Because I got to the point when we, like, right after this.
I gotta be honest, I was fast forwarding. I have no idea.
That's okay. That's okay.
But
I
they
just
won-
didn't
they won the
understand
crown.
why. I understand why we potentially voted a winner, but then they get immunity out of it.
It was live then after where America was also voting of like who they liked the best, who was most compatible again, right? So then Ariana was
No,
like,
we voted the night before.
oh, I missed the vote, so I wouldn't know. Really?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
fine.
it wasn't live. It was the prior episode, and
Okay.
then they did this karaoke, and like you knew that they were going to read at the end,
that's
but like
funny.
you just assumed this was just a fun dumb thing
Yeah.
to do.
Okay, so then the three couples who were voted least compatible by the public were Kenzie and Dylan, Corbin and Parmita, and then Kada and Zach, which TT was like, what?
I know.
Which
I know.
I do think, whether you like KC and TT or not, they are compatible.
Agreed.
They are so compatible. But what I didn't like was everyone being like, how are they more compatible than Kada and Zach?
I know. This group of Islanders took these votes a
So
completely
personally.
opposite way that they ever should have taken them. And I just don't think they know what the word compatible means.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Because, okay, so everyone was shocked. And then because Kenzie and Dylan won Karaoke for Your Lives, they are immune, which now we're
No.
on Survivor.
No, why do we have an immunity idol? What the fuck is that?
So then, between Kata and Zach and Corbin and Parmita, all the Islanders had to go stand next to who they want to save. Shout out TT and KC for saving my robots. But
Yeah.
in the end, Corbin and Parmita had to go home, which I'm still heartbroken about because those two cracked me up.
I know.
Constantly cracked me up. Anyway, and then for the next day and a half, I have to listen to Kata going, how the fuck are we less compatible than fucking TT? And I was like, you are the worst kind of girl.
I hated this. I hate when the Islanders get a little too into the voting in the game mechanism of it. I understand it should be a thought in their mind. Like, you're obviously on here for a reason. You do want to stay. Like, it's okay to react and be like, dang, I'm so sad America clearly doesn't like something about us.
Yeah.
But I want that followed up with, but I care about this relationship so much. I don't care what they think. Or that exists, but this is what is happening here in this villa for us. They
Yeah.
were so in on what we thought and what it meant about other couples and wanting to tear other couples down and then tear America down. And I was like, you're losing the plot. I'm more pissed off at you than I started.
You can be upset, but you don't have to tear down other couples because you're upset with how we voted. It
Yeah.
wasn't up to them. And
Yeah.
like, so I didn't like that. And I thought Kata was just like so stuck on it. She couldn't stop talking about it, which makes me think you're here for followers. You're here to be loved. You're here to be liked.
that you're only here for that. Because
You're
let's be
only
honest,
here
they're
for
all
that.
here for that. But that is your
Sure.
only priority here.
And then, like, Zach is hyping her up, and he's like, we're not. America doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Fuck America.
That's the thing, is they started, like, attacking us, and I was like, that's not gonna help you, babe. I can promise you that.
Also, maybe take America's votes as, like, we see something you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it? Like, it wasn't, it had to be last season with Huda, where someone was like, maybe America's doing this
Huda.
because you're missing something. Or Olandria said it. She was like, take America's votes as you're missing something, and they're looking at it for you. It was
when they took, what's his name from her?
Jeremiah and Iris. Yeah.
And I agree. Like, you should read something into it, but you shouldn't be so stuck on it at the same time. It's like, if you and Zach really care about each other and you think you're so compatible, this shouldn't bother you that much because you didn't go home.
Who cares if you leave early together then? You know what I mean?
We're this far into it, especially.
Who cares?
I understand week 2, you're going to miss out on a whole lot more. But leaving at week 5 with a couple, because people follow couples. People want to know your journey. So leaving in a couple versus single means something. And the followers will still come.
Yeah. And that's why I was sad Corbin and Parmita were leaving, because they didn't give a fuck, because they're not programmed to give a fuck. You know what I mean? So they were like, we don't really care. Oh, I loved Parmesan. I loved her. Anyway. So then we have Family Day. Oh, best episode. And
I was ready.
Can I tell you, the whole time I was texting one of my friends who was behind, and I was like, dude, Family Day is going to revive you in this season. You're not going to be mad. And then the last 5 minutes, I was like, never mind. Love Island done pissed me off again. Like, I'm going to bed pissed.
I was behind at this point. I was so done with this season. By the time movie night was over, Melanie was taking Sincere back. I was just like,
it was hard.
Most of these couples.
Hard to get through.
Because the couples I liked. But again, we're not seeing real conversations. I'm not, like, giddy off of these couples, even the ones I do like. So I'm just like, what's the point of watching this? This is giving me nothing. And so I just started falling behind. And then when I saw that Family Day was happening, I asked my friends, what do I need to watch of these episodes? Because I do not give a shit about any of this.
Yeah.
And I, like, fast forwarded through the dumb shit and got to Family Day.
This was it. This was the day. First of all, Bryce's grandma, fucking star.
I love her, and I agree with her. Where was Bryce and Trinity's hideaway?
Oh my God.
Because,
Melanie and Sincere get sent to the hideaway.
That's an episode I skipped.
I didn't like it. That's why I didn't put notes on it. I didn't care.
Didn't care. But that's noteworthy only because Bryce's grandma basically addressed it.
Bryce's grandma said, send y'all, get laid, my grandson, you know?
Yes.
And Bryce's grandma, she, in her spare time, goes out and advocates for abortion rights.
Obsessed.
What a queen. What a queen.
I love
Trinity's
her.
family, incredible, and they all got along, and I was pro that.
That's the thing, is like, when I believe in the couple, then I feel like I get to watch. I am watching the first meeting of these families.
It was beautiful.
And, like, a monumental moment of introducing your partner to your family and hoping they like them, and getting the feedback from the family of, like, how am I being portrayed? Do people like me? Do you like my partner? Like, what is actually going on, and what are you actually seeing? Because this is the time that they realize you are seeing things I'm not, and, like, I want to hear it.
I will say, these Islanders, I'll never forgive you for robbing me of meeting Corbin and Parmita's families together. That would have been the highlight of my life.
Alicia, I didn't even know what I missed out on, because I want to know if their families are AI robots like them.
No, it would have just been like Karen from SpongeBob, the Plankton's wife, meeting that. Wait,
what's that one girl's name from The Good Place? Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah,
and she knows everything.
Yeah. Oh my God, what is her name? Janet. Oh, it would have been awesome.
Can you imagine?
I'll never forgive y'all.
Alicia, I didn't even think about it. Damn it.
Never. That is the only thing I thought about, because I miss Parmesan and my AI robot Corbin. I loved them. Man. Anyway, just things to know. Kenzie and Dylan's families come in. Kenzie's brother loves Kada. Which hilarious. Leave Zach for the brother. Please.
They're in a weird space, Kenzie and Dylan, because Dylan, like, cried to Kenzie the night before. Which, listen, I'm gonna back him on his feelings are valid on all of that. Like, he should talk to her if he's feeling upset about something. I feel like it was like 3 days late though. Is like that was
Agreed.
a post movie night convo and you like strung it along.
Yeah.
And then it became weird because Kenzie's like, I thought we moved on from this.
Yeah, so Dylan was having a hard time with Kenzie maybe not fully liking him, and his mom came in and basically said, shut the fuck up. And then Kenzie apologized to Dylan's mom, and Dylan's mom was like, girl, no bad beef, I'm on your side.
That was a strong move from Kenzie pulling the mom.
Yeah. Good for Kenzie. Good for Dylan's mom.
She stands on business. I will always give Kenzie that. She is messy as hell, but she should be. This is the time to be in place to be messy.
Yeah. Casey and TT's families, fine. Not much to note there.
Yeah.
Zach and Kata, we saw Charlie. He's back. He's way hotter than Zach, dude. I'm sorry.
Agree.
It was like seeing the busted version.
And Charlie being there reminded me that Zach has like an inferiority complex related to Charlie, because when Zach came in that first night, he said, I just want to last longer than Charlie. And that's weird.
Yeah. Also, I can't believe we skipped this. I'm so sorry. Zach said to Kata a few episodes ago, he said, I want to be exclusive.
Oh my God.
But not boyfriend-girlfriend, but exclusive. Because we'll become boyfriend-girlfriend when we're like outside the villa after we've been exclusive outside the villa for a little bit, but we're just exclusive now. So then Kata got really excited and she told Trinity about it. She's like, Zach and I are exclusive, to which Trinity reacted correctly. Because what do you mean we're exclusive when everyone else is coupled up and then it's just you two? You're exclusively seeing each other. So she goes, what does that mean? And Kata's like we're not talking to other people because there are no other people. So Trinity says, like a situationship, which really pisses Kata off. So then when all the girls go to the water park, Kata's like, guys, we're exclusive, not a situationship, Trinity. And Trinity's like, a situationship is when you're just exclusive, but you're not boyfriend-girlfriend. You know what I mean? And all the girls were like, no, you're exclusive. But Kata's really upset that Trinity said she's in a situationship, to which she then bitched about for another 3 days and 3 nights. And then eventually she talked to Trinity, and Trinity was like, listen, what you are to me is a situationship. But if you like it, I love it. Who the fuck cares?
That is like, in my world, that's what that is, babe. But like, if it's not in your world, who cares? Also, Trinity and Bryce are boyfriend-girlfriend.
They're boyfriend-girlfriend.
They went on a date. Okay,
Sorry.
I do have a question for you on vibes within the villa and without, between being in a couple, closing off, exclusive, boyfriend-girlfriend, again, in the villa and out.
Thank you so much for asking. I think exclusive and closed off are the same thing. It just means you're not going to talk to other people. But that also means that bombshells are still coming in. We're still early in the process. We're in UK, I would say, if you can close off within like 4 weeks. Like after Casa, you can close it off, right? Boyfriend, girlfriend means just like we really like don't need to talk to other people. And I know it kind of sounds the same, but like closed off I think is like we're gonna prioritize each other, whereas boyfriend girlfriend means like everyone else is dead to us.
I agree with that, but I think boyfriend girlfriend is the title you reach when you're like, we're doing something outside of here too.
We're doing like something outside the villa.
This is real.
Yeah.
Whether we're in this villa or not. And to me, like an exclusive thing is, like you said, just in the game of it. Why are we being exclusive? Like, it's fine if you don't like the titles of boyfriend and girlfriend, so you choose to just say, like, hey, we're closed off externally, too. Like, we're exclusive out of here. But it's weird that Zach acts like those are two different steps, boyfriend, girlfriend, and exclusive. Because also, Kata wants to be boyfriend, girlfriend. And she's getting giddy off of the exclusive title as if they're boyfriend, girlfriend. And, like, Trinity's trying to be like, you realize he's not doing that, right?
Yes, you put it way better than I did. But yes, boyfriend, girlfriend means we are together outside this villa. No questions asked. We will make it work. Exclusive means in this villa we're together and we'll figure it out outside the villa, but there's a chance we're probably going to break up.
That is like, I don't think highly of your situation if you're leaving the villa as exclusive.
Especially because you guys have literally not talked to anyone else. You could have been boyfriend, girlfriend after you had sex. You basically were.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, you closed yourself off in like the act of it. Well, at least Kata did. But I just find it so weird.
Yeah.
How we're like adding 8,000 layers to this.
Anyway, back to family day. So Kata talks to her sister and her mom, and her sister's kind of like, Zach's a fucking weirdo, but I guess I'll accept him. And Kata's like, oh my God, no, Zach and I are exclusive. We're the best.
That's perfect.
And then Zach goes to his brother and sister and is like, they're like, do you love her? And he's like, I could maybe one day see me thinking about loving her, but no. He straight up is like, no, we're just exclusive. We're not boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't love her. He makes that very fucking clear
to his siblings. And then Charlie's online being like, they live in different continents. Like, of course he's not going to be boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm like, that is why I would actually want a boyfriend, girlfriend title more.
Yeah. No, Zach is Ken in the Barbie movie. Do you want to be my non-exclusives, like whatever girlfriend,
casual,
part-time
long
girlfriend?
Distance. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Zach. It was the craziest thing.
And he's not even joking, because he does that shit where he also like pretends something's a joke, but he's being so for real about it. He does not even joke about this stuff with Kata. He is being real with her. And I'm like, that's scary.
Okay. So then Anaya and Carl's family. Okay,
oh
crazy rich. Crazy rich Asians is Carl. Like,
and her family's rich too. Her dad's was an NBA player.
No, literally so rich. Also, her mom is so young looking.
Stunning.
I said two sisters.
One of the other Islanders said that and was like, one of those is her mom. And I was like,
that was me.
That is the highest compliment.
And then Carl's family literally is, if you watch Crazy Rich Asians, that is Nick's mom. That is Nick's like mother. Nice. But nice. Yeah. But scary. But like scary rich, you know, when you're like, fuck, that's the woman who runs this house now. So then they walk in. They love Anaya and Carl. Carl's family, because they had a right to be bitter that Anaya didn't pick Carl, but they were not. But Anaya's family was fucking pissed.
I know.
They were like, how could you not pick Carl? But then
I was obsessed with that dynamic.
Carl's family was like, I could see you as our daughter-in-law. But they were so classy about it. I was like, and then shout out Kata for once in her life, because Carl has his arms around Anaya and his mom, and Kata's like, what a man. And I was like, what a man indeed, let me tell you.
When Kata like slowly clocks other men's actions, and I'm like, babe, I see what you're seeing in front of you.
Hello?
However, reflect on your guy. She like never does the second half of that to be like, Zach doesn't do this stuff.
Yeah. And then when they separate, right? Anaya's mom straight up is like, I have beef with you, because what do you mean you're telling Melanie that Sincere's okay when he's not? And you're a bad friend for thinking that having Melanie in the villa is okay if she's in a toxic couple, because that's like not okay.
And not just like, oh, she's here and like you tried. It's that you're supporting that and adding to it. I loved her mom clocking it, because I didn't think she would. I thought they would just like focus on their couples, and I was like, that's so a real
badass.
One.
That's a badass woman. Okay, before we get into the main event, I would also like to say really quick, they make these Islanders like meet parents in bathing suits, which is also my fucking nightmare. But I will say, Trinity put on a tankini because she was like, I gotta cover something. Anaya put on a skirt because she was like, I gotta cover something. And Melanie put on like thicker bottoms to at least be like we're gonna cover.
Quilted shorts.
Yeah. Kata, why are we in dental floss?
That's the bikini you chose that day? Like, come on, a little more coverage.
This is why you bring one tankini or one piece.
Even a full bottom.
Me in like a full diver suit. Being like, I can't meet your parents with my tits out. That's crazy.
No, I know. My friends and I talked about the same thing. It's like seeing, because Kata like runs and like jumps around the villa, and it's just literally full ass.
It's, my God. When I saw Trinity put on that tankini, I was like, good for her. Good for her.
Because they knew from the morning of. I understand sometimes like it gets sprung upon them, and Islanders just like, or the parents just like walk out, and it's like, oh shit, I would have done this differently had I known. Yeah. This group knew.
And only 3 really performed. And I have to say, TTI didn't really notice, but Kata's I noticed.
I don't remember. Well, Kata's was the tiniest. What does it for me especially is the photos they take with their families. And I'm like, that's what's going to live forever. Not even just like your family's memories of you. This photo is everywhere. It's the photo of you meeting your partner's parents and your tits are just spilling out and your ass is just there.
If I ever go on Love Island, I need you to contact my family, because if I make it to the end and they go to family day, you need to tell my family to be wearing a jacket so that I can pretend I'm cold and I can put it on.
No, what we're gonna do is have them make one of those like cover-ups with the bikini on it, so it's like a nod to like you're in a bikini, but like you're fucking covered. And
but if I don't
bring
know,
it in and haha.
Yeah, if I don't know family day's happening, you got to tell my parents to come with something. No,
your parents are bringing it. It would be a funny bit where they're like, all right,
put it on for the picture. They bring him a shirt too. Put it on for the picture. You know what? That's it. Get extra large shirts that say our like couple name and be like, put it on for the pic. And I'll be like, oh my God, it's so cute.
Like, every guy is like shirtless, and it's just like, why do we have to do this on family day? Let them wear a sundress and a button up.
Allow sun shirts. You know what I mean? Even if it's ugly, as long as I'm covered up, I don't care. I just need a little.
Why don't we all have, like a little button up, like oversized shirt, and the guys can throw one on too. Like, it doesn't have to be so weird.
Let me live. Anyway, so then Melanie and Sincere's families come in. We have Melanie's mom and older sister, might I add, because this bitch is me. And then we have Sincere's stepdad and brother. Come in. Little brother. They all come in. They sit together. Immediately.
I was shocked by that. I thought they were going to be immediately like, I want to talk to you alone.
I think we should have. I think we shouldn't have had any time together, honestly. But Sincere's stepdad was immediately like, I'm not okay with how he acted.
The sister said something first. She said, we're going to have to talk about beloved.
Beloved.
She cracked the awkwardness open and made it even more awkward in a great way.
Mm-hmm. So they do have an awkward talk, which Trinity and Bryce are watching, and they're like, this is weird. This is weird for everyone. And so, we get from the beginning that all parties are not happy with what has happened. And then they finally split up. Let's get Sincere out of the way. Basically, his stepdad is like, I didn't raise you that way. You're lying. You're deceitful. In front of her family. Yeah. Well, whatever. Can we just split it up eventually?
Yeah.
We gotta get. I don't know exactly what we said. I didn't take that many notes.
Like that he said this in front of her family.
Yeah, I said that he said I didn't raise him that way, and then we split up, and he goes into Sincere and is basically like, you lied, you didn't treat these women correctly, and Sincere just sits there and he's like, yep.
I didn't like how he always reacts to this stuff. Is he's just like, okay, yeah, and like, I'm trying to be better.
Reflection. There's no remorse, reflection, acknowledgement. His like
reflection is saying, I'm learning, I'm growing, I've learned a lot about myself. But I'm like, what have you learned? What are you going to do different? Like, he just says these like checkbox things to like get the topic off of him.
There's just no like reflection or acknowledgement of what he did. He just, yep.
Or even what he would do differently.
Yep. Oh, whatever. So then we go to Melanie's family. Oh, was I living? Her sister was like, Melanie, take my hand. And let me tell you, because you were sobbing your fucking face off. I'm paraphrasing. You were sobbing your fucking face off, and I didn't like that for 1 second. And this man is not treating you well. And Melanie goes, you think so still? And her sister goes, Melanie. No, he is not treating you well. And then Melanie looks to her mom, because that's how an older sister is. I would do the same damn thing. Yeah. Melanie looks to her mom and is like, Mom, you're always the more understanding one. And her mom basically says, why do you keep going back to Sincere when so many other people would treat you so right? What are you doing?
When she said, why are you giving him a second chance when so many guys want their first? I was like, that is a bar.
She says, no. They basically didn't even beat around the bush. They looked at her and said, dump Sincere. And
like, it's not better. Like, I can understand Melanie's thinking and saying like, oh, like it's gotten better. And it's like, it's only gotten better because there hasn't been a bombshell in like a week and a half, babe. That man is not better. That man has done nothing to make it up to you. He did one breakfast date and did a breakfast date after seeing that other guy from Casa do it for you on movie night. He got the idea from that. And then he just completely stopped doing anything that we saw, at least. But I think production would have put that into the edit if he was actually trying to like graft and get her back and make up for it.
Yeah, it was, there was no question where her family stood on this, mom and sister.
Yeah, they weren't trying to coddle her or like give it to her nicely. They were saying, leave that man. He is not worth your tears.
When they left, They did not hug Sincere. Sincere's
They did
stepdad.
not take a photo together.
No. Sincere's stepdad hugged Melanie and apologized again.
I appreciated
and then they
that.
left.
Dude,
and
even Sincere's little brother was like, yeah, that was messed up. And I was like, when a younger sibling is more mature than you, that's crazy.
That's bad. And so then basically, like, she eventually, because they don't let each other talk. The producers are like, don't talk yet. But eventually she does talk to Trinity and Anaya, and I think maybe Kata. And Anaya says, like, look, my mom was not happy with me, and I have to tell you, like, I was a bad friend to you. And Melanie does say, she's like, this really fucked with me because, like, maybe if you had told me sooner. And Anaya's like, okay, yes, but I'm telling you now.
The friend stuff was crazy all season, and I do and don't blame them for the early stuff because they did not know what Sincere was doing and saying behind all of their backs. However,
After movie night, though,
the group had a big sway in Melanie's feelings. Like, she talked to a lot of them, and they always told her to be with Sincere, both before and after movie night.
Yeah. Well, even the boys were always like, I feel bad. Sincere keeps taking hits. And it's
God.
like,
no, but the girls were always like, I care about you, Melanie. I care about your feelings, but Sincere.
Yeah, it was, you prioritized hanging out with Melanie more than her mental health and her worth and like everything.
And you guys being a couple, like they wanted the couple friends of it all rather than Melanie being an okay person, even if she was in a couple with Sincere, but not moving forward with it. Like they always push them to be in a romantic couple and seeing it through.
It was crazy. And Melanie, I think, is still so confused. She just like really doesn't know what to do. And she tells Sincere, she's like, look, now you got to make it right with me and my mom and my sister. And Sincere just stares straight and he's like, okay.
Oh God, he was like, I'm not really worried. Like,
dude,
I was like,
you should be scared.
Be.
You know what you should have done is you should have done what Kenzie did where you pull aside and you apologize.
Yeah.
Kenzie's wasn't even that bad and she was scared to talk to his parents. You're not scared?
But the
you
thing is
he's scared.
He's never had to make it up to Melanie in this villa, not once. And he has fucked up like 3 different times. So why would he ever think that he's going to have to do anything that's going to be difficult?
Listen, I don't know much about Melanie's family, but if she's got a Dominican dad, Sincere's dead. His body's going to wash ashore. Because this is ridiculous. He's not even like, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed that your parents had to come in here and say that. Like, your older... Do you know how hard it is to impress an older sister? Do you know how hard that shit's gonna be?
Like, he didn't even seem to care in that conversation. No. And
he's
usually
like,
he's an all-words type of guy. He was just like, okay.
I'll do it. It sounds like an easy thing. No worries. Yeah. And she's like, okay.
She takes his words... like as if he's like lassoing the moon for her.
The gospel of the Lord.
Like, he's doing nothing. He's not even doing the bare minimum. He's doing absolutely nothing. And you're swooning over it. That happens a lot in this season in general, is the guys do like below the bare minimum. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, that's not cute.
Do you want to be my long distance casual girlfriend? Yeah, I do.
They're girlfriend? Like, what an honor.
Girlfriend? No. Okay, so then we have a Chinese dinner where we get to pull a fortune cookie.
After that gross ass food challenge, and I said, how dare you do those in the same day? It would ruin, but it would ruin takeout for me. Is like...
Skip.
Ugh.
Skip the amount of times I have seen Islanders spit food into.
Nobody ever wanted that.
Fast forward. I did watch them fall. I enjoyed them running and falling.
I heard about it, and I immediately just zoomed right past it. I couldn't even look at the screen as I was zooming.
I had a joy watching Carl try to run. He really looked like he was...
He was the one where it's like slippery and so you're trying to like pass...
And they have to carry like food. So they're just like all fucked up. And Carl looked like he was literally a cartoon character. Like he was running and going nowhere for forever. And then poor fucking Anaya. I will say I felt bad for Bryce because as a 30-year-old, he fell and he was like... In his interview with Trinity, he genuinely was like, I fucking hated that. That hurt. I was like, oh, my dude has back issues.
Brittle.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so we go to Chinese dinner, and they have to pull a fortune cookie to see if they're going to make it to the finale.
I immediately knew by this order what was going to happen here.
So this is where I say I never agree with America. America and I are never aligned, and this is how I got what.
Let's talk about this vote, because this one was also fucked in how production set it up. If you had to pick your top 4 out of 6, and you had to click it in a right order.
Yeah. It was a ranked vote, weirdly enough.
Yeah. Make us, actually slide it. Did you vote in this?
No, but I knew America was going to fuck it up, so.
I know. I did. I think I had Sincere and Kata out of it.
Yeah. My ideal would have been
those couples.
Agreed. I would have kept that. I would have kept TT and Kenzie.
I definitely had Casey and TT in mine, and then Brinity and Anaya and Carl. 5, and then Anaya and Carl. Yeah,
those were my top 3. The 4th I could have done with whatever.
I was pissed with this 4th because I was like, who the fuck do I want to see? A couple that isn't that strong or I don't care about, with just Kenzie and Dylan. I don't, or 2 couples I actually hate.
Yeah, I picked Kenzie and Dylan because I think there is a lot of potential. I want Sincere to feel consequences for his actions, so I didn't want him in the final. And I wanted Kata and Zach to get that they're what really pissed me off was they always seemed like they were too big for their bridges. And I was like,
100%.
Get on my villa, you know what I mean? But as you can tell, that's not how it goes. TT and Casey end up leaving, which crushed me. And then Kenzie and Dylan end up leaving. So people voted for the women, the core 4, as they called them. All season.
Which I get in a general sense while the season is going along, but when it comes to Sincere and Melanie specifically, you are reaffirming to them that they should be together, and that is so dangerous.
You are. Because we've seen Melanie is easily influenced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then we go into the finale. It's a very long thing of 4 dates. Oh, it took forever.
This was horrendous. I was 30 minutes through. Me and my friends went and got ice cream, and we did not know we had 2 whole hours left.
This took forever. I was at my friend's. I was sweating my balls off. This was crazy. I don't even have balls. I was dying.
It wasn't even worth it. If it's going to be 2.5 hours, you better make every ounce of footage worth it. You couldn't cut it.
Anyway, Sincere and Melanie go into the middle of the ocean. And they rock, paper, scissors for a massage.
So embarrassing.
And then, as we do in Fiji, we make pizza after we massage.
With our massage hands? Gross.
And then we sit around, and oh my God, these conversations were fucking brutal. They were just like, yeah, I really didn't think we'd be here, but now look at us. We've made it through everything. And Sincere's like, yep.
I hated it.
Oh, it took forever. And then Kata and Zach get into a swamp. Oh, her hair destroyed. Girl.
Production hates them.
Take your extensions off. Girl, take your extensions out. They are not. Stop straightening your hair every day if you're in a beach environment. I don't care. I don't want to so
by the end of the night when they're they switched clothes, because obviously, everybody continues to go on there. She re-straightened her hair, and I was like, yeah, no, I would fix that too.
No, my other favorite is, once you get back to the villa, you're forced to stay in whatever clothes you were wearing. So Melanie and Sincere are, in their swimsuits.
Yep. Yeah. For continuity's sake, they have to
Trinity
stay in it.
And Bryce, the last date, were stuck in swimsuits. She's fucking freezing, dude. Oh, it was so funny.
God.
Anyway, Kata and Zach, you are the producer's least favorites.
A swamp? The boat tour would be the most fun to do as the people. However, looks horrible. It's not romantic as your final date. Yeah. And then you eat sandwiches on the top of the hill at the swamp.
Genuinely, that's so cool. Oh my God. You look so cute. Genuinely. No, literally, I'm so excited. I was like, stuff that sandwich down her throat. I'm fucking done.
Up.
Anyway,
shut up.
Carl and Anaya go to this beautifully set up dinner
where they read 180.
They read the world's longest book about themselves, where every page they have to discuss what they just read. So Carl comes in the villa and they're like, "Oh my! I remember that day that you came in the villa.
Meanwhile, it was 2 weeks ago.
I saw you for the first time, and that was like, oh, Anaya didn't pick Carl, and Anaya was like, I remember that day that I didn't."
She's
It's
like saddest day in the villa for
They
sure.
this was the longest book in the world. And then when they brought it back to show everyone, Kate and
They
Zach
were
were like,
pissed.
we're the worst. Yeah, Kate and Zach got thrown into the back of a speedboat.
Kate and Zach are like, what do you mean there was 10 grand worth of flowers at your date?
Oh.
Chandeliers hanging. You got a custom book.
Our
And my
Jersey
hair
Mike's
looks like
had
this.
flies in it. What are you talking about? It wasn't even Jersey Mike's. We got the Fiji version. It was the craziest thing.
Production,
the intern.
actually, that was from the production's food cart.
It was all the leftover sandwiches. We didn't even get our pick. It was salami. Like, just the worst. And then Trinity and Bryce got to go to the fire. We always have one fire performance. And this is where Bryce tells Trinity that he loves her. And Trinity goes, I love you too.
Oh, the way she just was so eager to say it back with everything.
And then they were both like, thank God we're not holding it in anymore. And I was like...
And I believe it. Like,
I do too.
When you say, like, I wasn't ready to say it, but I have to now. Like, I believe that rather than you in your last date being like, let me throw in an I love you to get my votes in.
Oh, I was in tears. I love these two. Okay, so we all get back from our dates. The next day's the finale. The girls do their pampering. Whatever they come back, they all walk down. We have to walk by all these pictures of us kissing. Weird. I fast
that
forwarded.
must have taken forever to film because the photos and the nameplates kept having to change. I was like, get on with it.
That took forever, and then we had to watch a video. I was like, who the fuck cares?
A positive movie night? And then we get random celeb cameos?
We fast forwarded. We were like, whatever. And then we finally get to the finale. So in fourth place, Kata and Zach, rightfully.
No shocker.
In third place, Sincere and Melanie, rightfully.
I do hate that they were third because I think that they think they're a good couple.
But Shanat, I bet Kata sat there and was like, how are we not in there? But Carl and Anai are. They don't even know each other.
And Melanie and Sincere. The diss to Zach and Kata hit hard. But it just sucks that it came at the, affirmation of
Melanie and Sincere. And then, obviously, in second place is Anaya and Carl. Love them. And then our winners, Brinity and 5, baby.
Brinity and 5, baby.
They don't even know the next one. They have no idea what's happening.
When Trinity's sister said that, I was dying laughing because I was like, they have no clue what that actually means.
They're like 5? Yeah.
There's 4 couples here.
That's crazy. It must have been, I thought it was 6 weeks. Must have been 5. You lose track. Oh my God. So funny. Anyway. And then that was the season, and we'll get a reunion eventually. But we've already gone over a lot of time. So, Meredith, give me thoughts. Who cares if we sit here for another 80 minutes?
This was a worthless season. I hate that I wasted 6 weeks on this. I'm going to be so free. Love Brinity. Love them. Love Anaya and Carl. Brinity. Not worth the journey.
Love me some Carl. So now they're out of the villa. I wish we could see them getting their phones back. From what I've heard, Sincere's family went live during the finale. I think a lot of what they said is being blown up. What I didn't like was they made a comment about Trinity's family. That's quite racist. They called her and her family ghetto, which I don't like.
I just don't like that their way to prop their son up is by tearing down other people. And it's like, your son had horrendous actions in the villa and is rightfully being called out, and now you're mad about that, so you're going to try to tear other people down for nothing.
Also heard Sincere's mom is out here defending his ass, so...
Oh, and his dad. His actual dad, because it was his stepdad in the villa. It just it takes away all the work that the stepdad did in the villa, and I'm like, I don't believe any of you guys. Sincere needs to get on it and say, Mom, Dad, everybody, shut the fuck up. You're making it worse for me.
I know we do Beyond the Villa, but I wish we just had cameras when they all got their phones back and found everything out. And
I do too.
Oh, I would have loved.
Because Trinity also posted on her story don't go after Zach. And everybody's like, I can call Zach out for his weird behavior, and that's not bullying him. I do think people need to stop questioning his sexuality. I have been on that train a little bit too, the commentary with friends and the comments and the jokes.
Are clearly very close.
Yes. I understand that commentary now that he's like out is like nobody needs to like pester him with that stuff. He's on his own journey. But I will say Trinity posting that I feel like will make it worse.
I agree.
Like people are annoyed.
Here's the thing. When you come out of one of these reality shows where you're sequestered, you don't know what has been said all the time.
Agreed.
You don't know what people have been saying. And so I think you really need to watch the show. You might know these people and they might be good people, right? Like Sincere might be a great guy. He might be really nice and a great friend and all that, but his behavior shows us that he is not someone that we should trust, right?
But there's a big perception difference of your experience and how America experienced it is vastly, vastly different.
Yes.
And so you are reacting based on your experience.
And that's great, but
and there's a misunderstanding.
Something different.
There's a disconnect there.
And I think the other important thing is if you are against the perception that other people are getting, you really can't accept the perception you're getting either then.
Yeah.
If we love you, but you're telling us to like not attack someone else that we don't like, what is that? Like, should we love you? That makes me question.
It's like people are calling Zach's behavior out. I have not seen one attack about him. I've seen people comment on how he acts.
Mm-hmm. Which is right, because he didn't act appropriately. The same way I'll call him out, I'll call Sincere out, I'll call Kate out. I didn't like that behavior. But Zach never got a
movie night clip about it, so I think people feel more inclined to call it out because they don't know.
Yeah, and if the reunion, I swear to God, is like, oh, people don't know him and they're just like coming at him, I'm gonna lose it. But do you think any of? Oh, go.
Or if people do not watch the season, do not come to my reunion unless you have watched the fucking season. You can zoom past your little challenges or whatever, but you guys need to listen to every confessional. You need to listen to every one-on-one conversation and actually know what we saw and what was being said behind your back.
Do you think any of the couples, mainly like the final ones, will still be together at the reunion?
I think they will all make sure that they are still together at that reunion.
Ooh, do you think Corbin and Parmita?
I just think that's a general every season. Like, you're going to make it to the reunion because, like, you don't want to be embarrassed.
I mean, Kayla and Aaron didn't, and that was fun.
Theirs was extraordinarily messy, though.
That was fun. Okay, do you think Corbin and Parmita?
Yes, I think they'll make it to the reunion.
Casey and TT?
Are we saying reunion film or reunion air, by the way?
I'd have to be a reunion film. Like, what are we going to
I think all of these couples will make it to reunion film.
Ooh, okay. Do you think any will stand the test of time?
Brinity, possibility. Anaya and Carl, possibility. I'm not guaranteeing it because I think this season we have seen the least amount of actual couples.
Let's say 6 months post-Villa.
Through the end of filming Beyond the Villa, I think Anaya and Carl, I think Brinity for sure will make it.
Brinity for sure. Anaya and Carl.
Anaya and Carl, I think 75% chance.
I think the only reason Anaya and Carl would break up is the distance.
I agree.
Truly. I don't think it'd be
she wants to stay in Georgia, she said.
Yeah, I don't think it would be anything else because he has to stay in Denver for PT school. So I think just that alone. I think Corbin and Parmita will stand the test of time at least for a year and then they might break up. I think TT and Casey are in it for the long run. I could see them being together for a long time.
I think they'll stand through the end of Beyond the Villa, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Corbin and Parmita, they're programmed together at this point.
That's a thing. I think they have like something to prove. So even if they actually don't want to be together, I think that they will stick through it.
I agree.
More than another couple would if they wanted to break up. But for the hell of it, they will trudge ahead.
All right. Well, it was a season. We did it. We did it. And we'll probably cover the reunion on an episode of Also, a regular one. We're not doing a whole episode to it.
No.
But yeah, anything else to add before I get us out of here?
Not at all. Oh, catch me with Love Island UK. I'm going to do a dedicated episode about that with a friend. So giddy up.
Heard that's a good season. Everyone watch UK.
If you didn't like this season of USA, go watch UK. It's still going on.
UK's the best. I'm catching up. I'm just not there yet. Season 11, though, I will say, I think, Meredith, you said that it's not very good. I like the season so far. I'm in it.
I just don't like many of the contestants.
This is a great season for drama. Anyway, okay, well, do all the things I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. And with that, love ya.
Thanks for joining. Bye.